decide at that moment that I wanted to be there for my daughter, and I did not want to miss any part of her growing up, especially now that I was no longer part of a nuclear family, and I was going it alone. So that started my journey of entrepreneurship, deciding to not do a 9 to 5 job and look for ways of earning an income and still being very, very present in my daughter's life.
That's great. You were once the executive director of Obi Jackson Foundation, which tackles critical issues like health and education, particularly in the rural areas. How did your role influence your perspective on leadership and social impact, especially as a mother and an entrepreneur?
Great question. Like you said, the Obi Jackson Foundation, a great foundation. I used to be the executive director. We worked particularly with rural women in the eastern part of Nigeria, particularly Anambra State. I think as a mother, you're always a mother in whatever circumstance you find yourself, and meeting women who they were obviously entrepreneurs in their own way, doing it at a very low level. It was good to be able to find ways of supporting them and creating avenues where they could have inclusion, financial inclusion through microcredit, or just supporting them and giving them information on how they can make their lives better. So in that way, it was a very fulfilling and rewarding time there.
That's great. Pamela, you created Hannah and Hugh. You started Hannah and Hugh Limited when your daughter was just 18 months. What were the toughest challenges you had to face at that time? And how did you overcome them as a mother?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say Hannah and Hugh is a natural skincare company. So the story behind that is when my daughter was a baby, she had eczema. And we're talking, she's 18 years old now, so we're talking 18 years ago, there wasn't much about natural skincare. Particularly when I lived in England, you would go to the doctor and they would give you steroid creams. And so being very frustrated, I decided to go and take a skincare course. And that's how Hannah and Hugh was born. And so I took my recipes to a manufacturer and decided to create a range for children, particularly children born with eczema and parents who were looking for an alternative to the steroid creams that were in the market at the time. And so obviously, being a single mother, it wasn't easy. I think living in Nigeria gives you a certain support network that you don't have when you're living abroad necessarily. So trying to juggle not having much of a support network and trying to start my company, my skincare products, that was the biggest challenge. I think not having as much support as I do now that I'm back living in Nigeria, but also trying to be focused and make sure that this was going to work. So that was, I would say, the biggest challenge that I faced at the time.
How has the business been so far?
Yeah, it was very successful in England. I was able to sell it, take it to market, and it was stocked at different natural skincare stores. And I was also selling it at Health Plus here in Nigeria. It took a bit of a break during COVID, but we're getting ready to relaunch it in January again.
Wonderful. This inspiring conversation comes up immediately after our break. Please stay tuned. Motherhood is a transformative journey that shapes our children and us. It's filled with joy, challenges, and profound growth. Today, we honor the unsung heroes, our mothers, whose love and dedication lay the foundation for our achievements. Motherhood teaches resilience, the strength to wake up each day with purpose, despite sleepless nights. This resilience empowers us to overcome obstacles and reach our goals. It fosters creativity and problem solving. From soothing a crying baby to managing a household, mothers develop invaluable skills that drive success in ever-changing environments. Today, we celebrate every mother who has doubted herself yet continue to push forward. Your love, sacrifices, and commitment are the true markers of success. You are the heartbeat of your family, and your influence reaches far beyond your home. Today, to all the mothers watching, remember this: your journey, filled with love and perseverance, is the foundation of all round achievements. You are raising the next generation of dreamers, leaders, and innovators. Your role is powerful. Welcome back to Mighty Moms on Achievement Channel. Pamela, when you reflect on your journey so far, both as a mother and a career personnel or entrepreneur, what do you think are the most rewarding aspects of both?
That's a great question. So I think for me, it's, being able to be an entrepreneur, but also be there for my daughter. I think the time that it gave me to do things at my own pace, and also be able to be there for very important parts of her life, knowing that I was doing it on my own, was really, really important to me. So being able to be there for her netball competitions, taking her to her school plays, parenting meetings, or even just lots of play dates that I took her to. I wouldn't have had time if I had a structured job. So I think that was very rewarding for me, knowing that I was able to see her grow up and I didn't miss any parts of it. In fact, I was thinking a couple of months ago, she went over for summer to England, and that was the first time in 17 years that we had been apart for longer than like a week. And she was away for 2 months. So that for me has been the very rewarding part of it, knowing that I was there for her every important part of her life.
That's great. Most of our viewers are mothers having dreams of beginning or starting their own businesses, but really do not know how or what to do. What would your advice be for mothers who want to begin a business, even with little or limited resources?
Yeah, so my advice would be just start. If you have a goal or a dream, no matter how small you think it is, just start. The Bible reminds us, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Yeah. And I think that as women, sometimes we can look at other women and think, oh, wow, they are at the top of their game, not remembering that they started from somewhere. So we always see the finished product, but we don't see the struggles behind the scenes. We don't see the days they wanted to give up. So I would say, first and foremost, start. Secondly, I would say surround yourself with like-minded people who are trying to do what you're doing, not necessarily in the same line of business, but trying to be entrepreneurs themselves. Get a network of women who can support you. I think that is really, really important. The third thing is there's so many resources these days in Nigeria for your small businesses. So I can think of SMEDEN, which is the Small, Medium and Enterprise Development Agency. They're there to support women in business. There is Enterprise Development Service at the LBS. There's WIMBIZ. There's Gaia Club. There are so many different groups that you can join today that can give you that support that you need. You don't need a lot of money to start a business, particularly in this digital age. You can start with very little resources and just start somewhere. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much. It's been so refreshing listening to your story, Pamela. I wish we could go on, but this is where we wrap up the interview section. Viewers, we'll be right back. We are going to take a short break, and when we are back, we will listen to Pamela's final thoughts on moments on connection.
My name is Dr. Mrs. Wumi Olatunji. I'm an environmental and safety professional. I had a very wonderful experience right from day one to the very end. There's the second day to even up to this moment. It has really improved my public speaking. It has built confidence in me. It has improved my ability to speak even in public without much accessory, if at all I need to use anything, just maybe a paper. Before I'm so much endowed with use of PowerPoint, I must have a computer in front of me, or I must have a paper and read directly from the paper. But now I can boldly present or discuss with people in public with or without accessory. I so much appreciate this, and I know it will go a long way with me, and it will improve my performance in my profession. I want you all there to come over and pass through this school. Don't need to procrastinate. You have a lot to benefit and none to lose. Speak with power.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Welcome back. Now it's time for Moment of Connection, where we hear from our viewers. We've had a lot of responses from moms who have shared their experiences of balancing motherhood and entrepreneurship. Let's read a few comments. From Jane Akintola on X, starting my own business while raising my kids was one of the toughest things I have ever done, but the freedom it gave me to be present for them was worth it. The second comment is from Bola Danjuma on X. I'm still in the planning stages of starting my bakery business, but I get overwhelmed sometimes and I question if it's even worth it. How do I stay focused and motivated through all the challenges? Pamela, what are your thoughts?
Great. I mean, like I had said earlier, it's a rewarding adventure to be able to have your own business and be there for your children, your family, and balancing that. So I really can relate to the first comment there. The second one about starting her own business and staying focused, I would say, like I had already said, get a network of women who can support you. Get an accountability partner that will keep you focused. I think that's really important. I think for me, I have a bunch of accountability partners, and so they help me stay focused with my life and business.
Pamela, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story with us today. Moms like you remind us that it is possible to build your business and also raise a family, and at the same time, take care of yourself.
It's been inspiring to be here. Thank you.
That brings me to my final question before we wrap up. What do you do for yourself, for your me time?
That's a great question. Thank you. So I think as women, we tend to take care of everybody else but ourselves. And I've found that we need to be really, really intentional in building that me time into our schedules, no matter how small it is, whether it's an hour or 4 hours. For me personally, I like to go once a month, go and have a massage, go out with friends, or just go to my favorite coffee shop and chill. So for me, that works for me. So it could be different things for different people. But what I would say is for every mother out there who's trying to balance business and family, to try to intentionally build that time into their schedules.
That's great. So you take care of your business.
Absolutely.
Take care of your family. And also create time for yourself.
Very important.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Imagine stepping into a world where every breath refreshes your spirit. Our premium diffusers transform any space into a sanctuary using only natural, non-toxic ingredients. With quality absorbent reeds, they deliver long-lasting, soothing scents that eliminate unpleasant odors, promote relaxation, reduce stress, and enhance your mood. Choose from tropical mango to a refreshing mountain breeze. Elevate your environment and discover a non-toxic way to improve the air you breathe. With Christian Creations, your home becomes a personal escape to paradise. Experience the freshness today.
And to our viewers, I hope today's episode has encouraged you to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams, no matter the challenges. I'm Sarah Roberts. Don't forget to join us for our next episode, where we'll continue to celebrate the incredible strength of mighty moms. Until then, stay strong, stay inspired, and keep being the mighty mom that you are.
Hello and welcome to Achievers Book Club on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio here in Ikoyi, Lagos. I am your host, Sarah Erime Esekwe. Great minds are built by great books, and this is the show that brings the most powerful ideas from best-selling titles to life, helping you turn knowledge into action. Today, we are diving into a vital conversation, the art of the lifestyle shift, transforming your mind, body, and business. We are exploring how determination and self-belief can help anyone rise above their obstacles. Joining me to discuss the roadmap to a total life transformation is a powerhouse guest. She is an award-winning photographer, entrepreneur, and author of the life-changing book, Lika's Lifestyle Shift. Please welcome the creative director of Click Art Photography, Lika Ahunsi. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome to the show, Lika Ahunsi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I trust you're doing great.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're just going to dive right into the questions now. So the first question I have for you is now the 4Fs framework. In your book, you introduced a unique framework for change called the 4Fs, right?
Yeah.
Which is fitness, food, fashion, and facials. most health books only focus on the first two. So why was it important for you to include the outward elements like fashion and facials as part of a deep internal lifestyle shift?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Funny enough, I've never been asked, but it's, so let me give a bit of background, how the book came into existence. Okay, so it was during COVID. We're all stuck at home. The need to work out kind of became a thing because people were getting bigger, just staying at home, not feeling like they're doing any activities. So before then, I used to just post my workouts and stuff like that. And I don't know, I would say more people were engaged, pretty much because we were now stuck at home. So I think that increased the engagement on my page. So one day I decided to do a live, and it was just a ask me any question. And based on that live, in fact, then I don't know if it's still the case because I don't really do lives anymore, but after an hour it cuts off. So after 1 hour I had to start all over again because people were like, I still have questions, you've not answered my questions. So it was so engaging, it was amazing. So majorly the questions, because I was taking notes on the questions I was asked and answering as much as I could during the live. But I realized that most questions revolved around these 4 F's. So people asked me questions about my diet, what I was doing to, what I did to lose the weight, and what I have done or had done at the time to keep it. There was also a lot of questions regarding what kind of workout do I do, what are my schedules, and how is it possible to do this workout or still be active with my lifestyle shift, even with my everyday life, right? So that already answered the 2 major ones, which is fitness and food. Then I got a lot of questions about my outward look. So if you check the book out, I'm going to be referring a lot to the book.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah. So in page 16, in page 16, there's this picture. There's this picture here. And you could see how dark I was there and how my skin tone had changed. So a lot of people just going through my page, watching my videos, were like, your skin has started glowing. Like, what did you do? What are your secrets? What facials do you do? Because you don't seem to have a lot of breakouts. You know, when I tell people that I'm over 40, it's very difficult to believe because they're like, you don't have wrinkles, this, that. So as much as I would say a lot has to do with we like to call it my parents and my background. But I also do a lot with facial care and skin care to also be able to give tips on that. So I decided that the book, I didn't want the book to just be your regular fitness book. I just also wanted to make people see a bit about my journey and my story. And that's why I even called the book my name, Lika's Lifestyle Shift, like the raw data on everything I have done and all the changes I have made to be where I am today, which also included fashion changes, knowing what fitted my body type and stuff like that. So advising people also on fashion tips, colors that fit you. Some people just wear things randomly and they don't even really appreciate why they use the color tones that they use. So just giving a bit of information on fashion, what fits the different body types that we have, and colors as well, what colors that complement your skin tone. So so that's why fashion and facial became really important to put that in the book.
That's amazing, because it's not enough to just lose the weight. It's important that your body all round, what you wear, how you appear, your skin, that's amazing. That's good. And
Everything
honestly,
is
you do
intertwined.
not look like you are 40. Above 40, right?
Above 40. Let's
amazing.
put that caveat
That's
there.
amazing.
Above 40. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, that leads us to the next question. You've described this book as a raw and inspiring journey. Yeah, you just talked about that. It's your personal lifestyle.
Yep.
Right? You open up about very personal topics like family, grief, mental health. Was there a specific chapter or memory that was particularly difficult for you to write down? And why did you feel it was necessary to share it with your readers?
Okay, so it's still even quite difficult to talk about. I lost my dad last year.
So sorry.
And thank you. And that's what led to me doing a revised version of the book. Because I wrote the book during COVID, which was roughly 5 years ago. And when he died, I decided to do this revised version because I wanted to add a bit more information on managing grief. Because I realized that a lot of people are so insensitive to, insensitive to understanding what grief is and how people manage it differently. So talking about losing him was also kind of like my love letter to him, right? How much he meant to me, how much he helped me in my own journey. My dad was my biggest cheerleader. He was the one that would see one fitness tip and send it to me. He was always sending me forwarded messages of different things to do, different health decisions, nutrition, and so a whole lot. He was an inspiration for fitness. I have never known any time that my dad wasn't working out or just constantly taking care of his weight. So it was really sad for me the way he died, because he just slumped, right? He wasn't sick or anything like that. And what even makes it a bit more challenging is that he slumped doing what he loved the most. He was playing golf. And I talk about that in my book. If you go through, so I call that Managing Mental Health. Okay. So Managing Mental Health, that's from page 29. And so basically a lot of the talk around this chapter is about my dad, about his journey, about how much he made me love fitness, how much he was into fitness, not just even only fitness, but nutrition. He was very particular about what he ate. So for him to die the way he did, it was really difficult for me. It took me over 3 months for me to get over it. Like, for me, no, of course I'm still not over it, but for me to go back to the gym. Because for a long time I was just like, hey, this man did it all and he just slumped and died. No explanation, nothing. So why am I stressing myself? Why am I doing this fit life, right? So there were a lot of questions I had to ask myself, and also, is
it worth it?
Yeah.
Should I go back to
Should I do this? What's the point? I could just slump and die. So what am I telling people to do better? So writing that particular chapter was very difficult, because I asked those questions even in the book, like, what do you people think? Like, how do you get over that? And I would say I'm still not over his loss. I don't know if I'll ever be. But in the book also, I speak to people who are experiencing similar loss and how they can manage it. I realized that when finally I was able to go back into my routine, I gained a lot from it. I could use that as a way to just release my energy, tension and sadness and stress. Right, especially with taking walks. I never really liked taking walks. I thought it was a very slow pace workout. But I realized that in this time, that's what I needed. I just needed something really easy. So I would just take those walks and listen to like motivational speakers and just try to put myself in a headspace that it's life, this is what it is, right? And just try to accept not having him with me anymore. Yeah.
Wow. I'm really sorry about the loss of your dad.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's important that we understand how to grieve, because most times when we have such a sudden loss, most people tend to express their grief in different ways.
Yeah.
That most times they don't even come out of it. Like, for instance, what you explained about how you started asking questions: is it worth it? Should I go back to? There are most people that at that point, that's the end.
Yeah.
They now begin
They
to
can never.
eat.
Yeah.
They overeat unhealthy meals, and they become fat again, and they just lose everything. Right? That's amazing. Okay, so that also leads us to the next question. The subtitle of your book is "Discover the Pathway to a Lifestyle That Changes Everything for You." In the early chapters, you talked about teenage struggles with weight and confidence. What was the biggest lie you believed about yourself back then that the process of writing this book finally helped you debunk?
Okay. Okay, so I would never really say that I was not a confident person.
Okay.
But I always kind of struggled with weight, like my weight gain. I was never, if you read the book, I was never a skinny child. I was always chubby. And I have a sister, like my immediate elder sister, who was always skinny. In fact, we were like opposites, so she was always skinny. I was always the one that was bigger. And so you refer to us, and you can easily refer to me as, the chubby one, right? So will I say it bothered me as a child? No. But as I got older, it became a thing, right? Guys, started liking boys from the age of 15, 16, and you're like, okay, how do I look? So I think it was at that point, and just before I was going into university, that it became a bit important for me, or I became conscious of the way I looked, and it mattered to me how I looked. So yeah, I talk about that in the book, and how I started starving myself because I wanted to lose weight. Right? And so, not to give a very long answer, but I would say that I kept doing different things at different points, trying to lose weight. So I would lose the weight, gain it back again, lose the weight, gain it again, because I think that in my head there was this part of me that felt you're supposed to be fat, or you're supposed to be big. Your body is not structured to be a certain way. I also have lines around my neck, and when I put on weight, it's like the first part that just becomes really chubby, my cheeks. So my facial change is the first thing you notice when I lose weight. So sometimes I even look bigger than I am on the scale or generally, but just because my face would always have that big look. So because of that consciousness, I would say, it made me always feel that. So I think what I would say I was afraid of is putting the weight back on. Okay. So it took me 5 years from when I lost the weight. I lost weight primarily around the last quarter of 2015. Yeah, so let's say it took me 6 months to really be comfortable with my weight. And let's say in a year, so in 2016, that's when I felt I was where I wanted to be, weight-wise. I was toned out. I had done the work. But in 2015, I'd already lost a significant amount of weight. Okay. So I think my fear really was, okay, what do I need to do to remain like this? So even when I initially would post things, I was still very scared to post, because I always felt, what if I gain it back? So I think my fear was not about just being like indecisive or not sure of myself or a bit timid. I was never that person. I was someone who had like self-care or, appreciated how I looked. But I think my greatest fear was the weight coming back.
That's maintaining what you had lost.
Maintaining. So that's where the lifestyle comes from. So it was until after 5 years that I had stayed without the weight, which was, you know, supposedly now COVID year. That's when I was ready to speak about it, because I felt, okay, now I'm where I want to be. And I have been able to do this 5 years. So it means that it will take a lot to get me back to the Lika that I was before. Of course, it helped my self-confidence. It made me feel much stronger, even if I think I already had self-confidence, but it definitely boosted me to be like, oh, you've done this for 5 years, you can do another 5 years. And now this is the 10th, 11th year really, since I started, because I started in 2015. So it's already 11 years since my journey. And I now even play around with my weight. Sometimes I gain weight purposely because I want to do a particular kind of thing with my body or something like I am so much in control now
of you.
Yes, that I would say that is the thing I've been able to change. You know, I've been able to get to a point. Do I still get scared once in a while? Yes. You know, I just told you about my dad and that fear of me just losing interest and just saying what's the point, and you know, just going back to relaxing, and that fear of losing it all, like just going back to being chubby and big and just, you know, like you wrote a book, like what's wrong with you? Why do you look like this? You know, so those fears, they are there. They would remain there, I guess. But I think I just consistently put in the work, because it has become my lifestyle, that I do not really see it happening. But you know, never say never.
True. So it's not just about the losing weight for you, it was keeping it to it consistently.
It was that was where the lifestyle
fear came about. All right, it's been an amazing time with Lika. Let us go on a short break. We will be right back.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Now you too can learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional at any of our centers in Lagos and Abuja.
To register, call 0802 3032 066 or 0706 1606 078, or log on to our website schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence,
teaching the world to speak.
Welcome back. Okay, Lika, so the next question I have for you is this. You write that this book is more than a guide to weight loss. So for the reader who picks this up and is already physically fit but feels mentally stuck or unfulfilled, what does Lika's lifestyle offer them in terms of mindset and resilience?
Okay, so first off, for someone who is already physically fit, that's one job already done. So kudos, be happy, you know, you're already doing well. As we already said, it's more about a lifestyle shift. So it's not about just losing the weight, but keeping it out. And also the health benefits of not having weight. That's so not just having fats, excessive fats in your body. So for that mental shift, I would say a lot of it comes from confidence as a person. There are some people that even after they have lost the weight, they just still look at themselves and still feel, I'm not good enough. I'm not, you know, I don't feel that I'm good enough. So in my book, I talk a lot about self-care.
Okay.
The last chapter, in fact, I'm going to just read something very quickly. I said, always remember that, so that's page 83, always remember that self-love is not the same as selfishness. After COVID, that's when I decided that I was going to travel more. So every year, I always try to do one personal trip, just me. Because for me, it's a way to just balance all my emotions and just find a way to live in the presence. So that's for me. you know, travel was the thing for me. For other people, it might be something that they have just put, as I said in my book, on the back burner. Decide what it is that gives you even that anxiousness, because some people suffer from anxiety. So what is it that causes that? And just find a way to say, okay, I want to be better. I don't want this to be an issue anymore. You're already looking good, right? So you've done the work. So what are those other things in my life that brings me down? What are those things that I'm not comfortable with? And you start making that mental change, intentional change, to be like, I want to be better. So that would be my advice. I would say that self-care, don't always have excuses. You know, people say, my family, I have little kids. I have a friend who would put her baby on her back, put the other one that is a bit older on a stroller, and she will take her walks, right?
There are no excuses.
No excuses, just make time out of no time. So yeah, so when you're able to have some structure in place and you see it's working, that can start even helping your mental health. So it's that mental health of deciding that you matter, you are enough. And I speak a lot about that in the book. So it's not about just the fitness change, it's about a mental change.
All right, amazing, amazing. So one of the best parts of the book is that it's packed with practical tips. If a reader could only implement one strategy from your book this week to start seeing a difference in their life, which one would you point out for them?
So I like this question because people even ask me this. So what I will say is the first step, and even for my clients, because I have people that I train from time to time, and the first thing I always tell them to do is the water detox. So if you go to page 64, you will see the water detox is explained a bit in detail, so you know what it has to do or what it means. A water therapy would help you to just cleanse your system, right? It would help you in a whole lot of ways, and there's like an explanation there of what it entails. So if you could do just one thing, that's what I would tell you to start off with. Detox.
Okay, so the book is an invitation to stop holding back. When you were sitting down to write the final pages of this book, who was a specific person you had in your mind's eye? Who is the one person that needs to read this book right now to start their own next chapter?
Anybody who is just struggling with weight loss, anybody struggling with mental health, especially when it relates to your outward look. I think those are the two people I would say should read this book. If you are struggling, especially the second person, you're just struggling with being comfortable in your skin. Just being comfortable with who you are, read this book, because that's my story. You know, my story, it really explains how when I made this decision for a lifestyle shift and kept to it, how it affected every aspect of my life, because there was just this boost of confidence that I could achieve anything. And I think that's the person I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to that person that is struggling with being the best version of themselves. They are just constantly questioning, constantly asking, am I enough? What I have tried to do in this book and what I've tried to consistently say is that you are enough. You are smart enough, you are fine enough, you're good enough, you're everything. You just need to believe it in yourself. And if making that body change would help in you deciding that you're good enough, then please, let's do that together. Read Lika's Lifestyle Shift and make that change and start believing in you today. Thank you.
Yeah. So Lika, how can readers get this book now?
Okay, so the easiest way to get the book is through my Instagram page. If you want a hardback copy, the revised version, because the revised version is quite new, so you can get the revised version if you send me a DM on two of my Instagram pages. The first one is dedicated completely for the book. It's LLS, so Lika's Lifestyle Shift. So LLS_fit life. That's on Instagram. There you see tips on workouts. You see so many information there. The other one is just at Lika Ahunsi. With those two pages, you send me a DM. We can arrange for book sales everywhere, all around the world. Then for soft copy books, we have ebooks on Stella. You would also see the link on the Instagram page. So yeah, with those two platforms, I guess you can be able to get the books. The old version of the book is still available on Amazon. We haven't been able to put the revised version there yet, but we're working on that.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Lika.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an amazing time we've had, and we want to thank you for writing this book because it indeed would help a lot of readers struggling with weight loss and even mental health. So thank you, viewers. One of my take home is self-care is not selfishness, okay? So it is important that we put in the work no matter the things that happens. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. What an incredible, raw and insightful session we've had today. We've learned through Lika's journey that a true lifestyle shift isn't just about the physical. It's a commitment to self-love, resilience, and a total transformation of the mind. A big thank you to Lika Ahunsi for reminding us that we have the power to stop holding back and start creating.
And you are really, really inspiring us with most of the content you are churning out. And I am proud to even say that you are our partner in progress with some of the things you are turning out. Thank you very much.
wear the khaki, but we carry more than just a bag. We carry dreams, grit, and a will to serve. This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Hello and welcome to Corpuscan, the show that inspires and empowers young Nigerians to make most of their NYSC journey and beyond. I'm your host, Madu Dennis Uchechukwu, and you are watching the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence Studios in Ikoyi, Lagos. Today's theme is one that truly captures the energy of our generation, the new Nigerian youth, purposeful, productive, proud. We are flipping the script from lazy youth to leaders in motion, young Nigerians who are building change, shaping narratives, and contributing meaningfully to nation building. I'm joined by two amazing guests. Our first guest is Egwo T. Favor, a fresh graduate and newly called barrister currently serving at the prestigious School of Eloquence, Ikoyi. She is passionate, disciplined, and committed to using her legal knowledge and values to make a positive impact during her service year. Our second guest is Dimba Onyekachi, a creative and passionate social media manager with a flair for crafting compelling digital content and building strong online communities. She represents the new digital-driven Nigerian youth who are shaping conversations and inspiring change through creativity.
This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Welcome, Kachi. Welcome, Favor, to today's episode of Copper Scan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people do see Nigerians as being lazy youths and not being able to kind of like cultivate or be productive. Kachi, how are young Nigerians proving we are not lazy?
I feel like now there are a lot of youths out there that are into content creation, that are into personal businesses. Like we have people that start up a pastry business, or they start up like fabric business, like into like textile and everything. We have people that are into drop shipping, like people that they are the middleman when it comes to like other like business ventures and all of that. Then for content creation, it's something that's very rampant now. There are lots of youths out there that are into content creation, because apparently from TikTok, people make money from TikTok, from going live, from even selling their products via TikTok or other social media platforms in general. So apparently youths now are trying their best to put their hands in everything that they can lay their hands on, like business-wise, tech-wise. Some are even like going out of their way to study like online courses that will help them tech-wise. Some are into like IT. A lot of things are actually going on. Some are even in the market. Those that find it difficult to like, go to school, they're actually in the market hustling into businesses. Like some Igbo people now, they are into money. They love business. So some young guys prefer to follow their dad to the market, their mom to the market, and all of that. So personally, I feel like youths now are very, very impressive when it comes to putting their hands into something that will be lucrative, something that will help them, something that will be as like to lay a foundation for their future. So I believe that youths now are actually doing well, unlike before or years ago.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Favor, do you agree, or do you have another idea or another thought on how Nigerian youths are proving not to be lazy from your own point of view?
Okay, I totally agree with what she said, because it's very true. And I relate it to the economy now in Nigeria. The youth these days, nobody is relaxing. Everybody is hustling. There's no laziness anywhere from any corner, whether boys or girls, no laziness anywhere. Every youth is trying to learn 1 or 2 skills, both online or physical. You understand what I'm saying? So they are not lazy. There's no laziness in the body or in the spirit of Nigerian youth these days, because you see girls, no matter how little it is, whether it's learning how to make nails or makeup or hair or tech, learning how to repair computers or phones, any little thing, everybody is just trying to strive. You understand? There's no laziness at all.
Yeah, and also to add to what you said, once you see your neighbor, once you see your mates doing well, you will be forced to mellow down and actually work and actually help, like do something for yourself as a person, because you will not want to be in a situation whereby you have a friend group where everyone is doing well, they are making it happen, but you're just there and you're just being a burden to whoever is catering for you. So now youths are actually putting down their head and actually making things work for themselves, unlike before where people are always reluctant and just waiting for things to come, not actually moving forward to make things happen. So yeah,
quite interesting and good to note. And from what you said, I could portray or foresee some situations whereby you have Nigerian youth sitting at home and expecting from daily bread to come from their parents. There are some people who, by the way, each time are kind of like still like waiting for mommy's pets, waiting for their parents' food and clothing and handout most of the time in everything they want to do, whereby there are a lot of opportunities outside for anybody to kind of like key in, join in, even daily pay works. There are so many daily pay work outside, but Nigerian youth these days are kind of like not trying to key in into that. So thinking on trying to put a way whereby this scenario or this fact can be changed, I think and I believe that maybe there should be more of sensitization. There should be more of government coming up through policies, communication and broadcast media in ways by which everybody will be on the know or of their ideas of ways at which they can come out and do something and not just sit at home. So this brings me to the next question, and I would like to put it to you, Favor. Laziness, Nigeria, and trying to bring out the youth to come out and be active into the nation building, which we should be bringing about patriotism. And patriotism might look like a big word to every other person. But to you, what do you feel, or what do you think patriotism can mean to every Nigerian youth and yourself, per se, at first?
For me, patriotism is not about just raising the flag. You're just raising your flag. That's not... You can find patriotism in the tiniest things, the simplest things. It might be just you helping out your community around with anything at all. It might be, sanitation, picking one or two things like that on the road, or it might be helping children, maybe buy textbooks or pencils, or anything, or helping
volunteering.
Yes, volunteering just for anything. You understand? Like, let me say, for example, NGOs. There are so many young people now in charge of NGOs. Yes, and they help children that do not have homes, children that don't even know where their next meals are going to come from. That's patriotism, because you are helping your fellow Nigerian. You are helping them. You are mentoring other people, and as you are doing it, other people are seeing you and are learning from you. So it just it's not a big something. You can't just say, it's patriotism. I think that's a big word, and maybe you're finding something big. You don't have to do something that's so big. Just from the simplest things that will change somebody's life. That's patriotism.
And also, like, people feel like once you bring in patriotism, it means that you should bring yourself to the lowest of the low to get things done. And obviously, because of how the government system is, people don't want to actually do things for their country and everything. They feel like, why should they do that? But at the same time, to prove people wrong, there's one guy like that. I think they aired him on NTA. I can't remember, but they aired him somewhere on one particular broadcast. He was still a copper. He was still serving. He actually built a particular hall kind of thing for the market women at a particular PPA he was posted. He was posted to a very, very local community. So during his service here, he now consulted the government. They provided the funds and everything. He erupted a particular it was given shade where market women can actually stay and set up their business, because apparently they're outside and obviously sun and everything. So because of that act of care and patriotism for that particular area, he was he put it upon himself to actually see this kind of thing to happen and work. So also another example, my sister's friend actually runs an NGO, as you said earlier. She runs an NGO where they help. I think I don't really know the content of the NGO, but I think what they really do there is that they help young people that don't have money to fund themselves. They also help grown adults who don't have really enough to cater for themselves. They contribute, and anything you have, even for the young kids. Let's assume now I don't use some clothes again or shoes. You bring it to the NGO. They go out and give people that will need it. Do you understand? So all these little things are simple acts of patriotism that people don't actually feel like it's actually anything. They're like, you just gave clothes to somebody, but it's actually you're actually giving to the country, even if it's one person. It's actually a very, very simple act of being patriotic to your nation. So that's
and I also want to add something. You don't have to spend billions,
or start constructing roads or anything, or building statues of governors, past governors or past leaders of the country before you know that you are a patriotic citizen. Just from simple things.
Yes.
From simple things. You can change somebody's life.
Yes,
you never
yes.
know. From simple things.
Because those women that they were very happy.
Yes.
I think the government even gave him an award, and I think he got a lot of opportunities from just that little act of kindness, that little act of concern for those women out there. So that alone can really take you places without even, and he didn't even spend a dime. It was the government that funded the whole thing, but he had the idea. The idea was his own, but the funding was from the government. So that alone really took him a lot of places.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most people, they do it because they want to get a reward at the end.
Yeah.
But that's not the real spirit. I mean, but that's not the objective. That's not how it's supposed to be. When you want to be patriotic, you do it from your heart.
Yeah.
You don't do it because you want to get something in return.
Yes.
So even though you don't get a reward at the end, you are doing it because you are helping a fellow Nigerian. You are helping a fellow human being.
Helping
You
one
understand?
Nigeria is like helping the whole Nigeria.
Yes, so that's
basically. So yeah.
Thank you. Patriotism, from what you both had said right now, I could pick the word selflessness.
Yes.
Kind of like giving out your all for nothing, not expecting anything.
Yes.
That's a good one. And to add to what you are trying to bring up, talking about patriotism, there is one particular program that is coming up, that is ongoing at the moment, which is a collaboration of the Lagos State Government, Ministry of Health per se, and the NYSC, whereby coppers are kind of like asked to enlist to help in the polio vaccination stuff. And a lot of coppers are into it. You know, sometimes when I pass through the streets of Ikeja and along, you see coppers, some on their khaki, some without, carrying this polio vaccination stuff and going from house to house. It's kind of like, it shows selflessness, especially as we are serving. It's not just serving in each other's PPA, it's also coming out to the community where we are serving and making an impact, helping out. That is great. That's wonderful. Thank you. Right now, our dear viewers, we will go on a short break. When we come back, we will continue on the topic. Stay tuned.
We wear the khaki, but we carry more than just a bag. We carry dreams, grit, and a will to serve.
This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing on how the new Nigerian youth can be purposeful, productive, and proud. Continuing the discussion, you know, in our country, Nigeria, where everybody is hustling and trying to survive, collaboration or teamwork is always taking the back seat. So I'd like to ask, how does shared values and teamwork help unite Nigerian youth? I would like to hear from you, Kachi.
Okay. So from the question you asked, you said, how does shared values and teamwork help unite Nigerian youth, right? Basically, teamwork helps the dream work. So apparently, I believe that once youths come together and they stand by, okay, this is actually how things are meant to be, and they agree upon themselves, let's work together as young people. Because apparently in NYSC, you go there, you meet different people, different personalities, different tribes or ethnic groups. So apparently I believe that from that experience alone, you should actually have that mindset of, I can work with anyone. I should be able to adjust with anyone's belief and their values. Because obviously I'm Igbo. The same values I have in Igbo as an Igbo person will be different from someone that is Yoruba or someone that is from Itesekiri. So apparently, once you get into that space, you should be able to adjust and not just be someone that dominates, that wants to be like at the helm of affairs. You'll be like, okay, since I am Igbo, I feel like I should dominate this particular crowd. I believe that whatever I say stands, or whatever values I have should be what should be in place or in practice. But it should not be like that. It should be a thing of, I'm Igbo, I'm a table. You feel the people from different ethnic groups like, okay, I'm here, Yoruba person's here, some from Fulani, some from Hausa, some from, Yoruba, like that. As I were together, I'm like, okay, drop down your opinions, drop down what you think we should do.
We pick up ideas.
Yes, we share our ideas, we put it down together, and then that's teamwork. That's basically teamwork. Teamwork is basically you being able to understand and accept people's ideas and opinions and views. Do you get? So I believe that once people come to terms with, I am not the only person in the room. There are people there that are also there to share their opinions. Once people have that in mind, that they're not the ones that should, be the dominating presence, teamwork will definitely fall in place. So I believe that as you're a human being, you should be able to understand people and also adapt and be able to take people's opinions and views to heart, and not just take it as something that is like shallow and something that is not, that is less important. Everyone is important. So that's basically that. Yeah.
Thank
Do you have anything to add?
Yes, I have a little thing to add.
Yeah.
What I want to say is, I think tribalism that is kind of creating that barrier for teamwork in Nigeria amongst Nigerian youths. Tribalism.
Basically, as I said,
yes.
Once you think that you're the dominating lead,
yes,
it's hard for you to accept people for what they are and what they truly believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just change that mindset. Nigeria has over 250 more than cultures, and they are so beautiful, beautiful cultures.
Yeah.
So we should, like you said, adjust. We should all try to learn each other's cultures. It's a good thing. We should all learn to accommodate people. Yes, accommodate cultures, because Nigerian cultures are it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And teamwork, everything will just be fine.
Yes.
That's what I have to add.
Thank you so much. That was a nice one from both of you. From what you portrayed out, I was able to take adaptability.
Yes.
I see it as a keyword there.
Yeah.
You should at least be able to adapt to every situation. You can't be just a Southeasterner from Nigeria and then the kind of like lifestyle, the growth, the livelihood you are used to in the Southeast. When you come up to Lagos or maybe Abuja or another part of the country, you kind of like abhor or look down on other people's cultures, values, and way of life. So I believe adaptability is the keyword there. But moving on to the last question on my table, I would like to know, as Nigerians, we all want to make kids, but we also talk about purpose and impact. So I'd like to know, how do you personally balance chasing your goals with helping to build a better Nigeria for all of us?
You can chase your goals, quite all right. But when you get there, or when you feel you have gotten there, you also have to involve other people. That way, you're also helping. I mean, you have achieved your goal, and right now, you want to accommodate other people in what you are doing. But you can become an employer of labor, yes. And you have involved other Nigerians, you understand? So this way, you chased your goal, you got what you wanted, and now that you have made it, you are employing someone else. You are giving that person something to do.
Being an employer.
Being an employer, and the person now your employee.
Okay, Kachi, what do you have to say about that?
Okay, to add to what she said, I believe that once you have already established yourself, a point will come when, as she said, you will now be able to give people employment. You know, as well, this topic has been centered on like lazy Nigerian youths in quotes. But once you're there and you know I can be able to help and give a lending hand by giving people employment, by releasing like work loads to people, they get occupied, which gives that sense of we don't really have lazy Nigerian youths again. People are now occupied, people are now busy because you have created employment for people. So that's basically all.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Well, these are all nice points, but all in all, one might be wondering, you are a lazy youth and you are growing. How do you grow? How do you create employment? The only advice I have for our dear viewers and fellow core members out there is that don't just depend on what is available. Seek help, find support, take loans that you can pay, and have ideas, think more, build yourself. In building yourself, you're building this country.
This is Corporate rising to serve, rising to lead.
Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Onyekachi. Today's conversation reminds us that the new Nigerian youth is not waiting for opportunities. We are creating them, we are focused, we are driven, and we are proudly building the Nigeria we want to see. I am Madu Dennis Uchechukwu, and this has been Corpascan on the Achievement Channel. Until next time, Corpascan and Corpasville. Thank you.
This is Corpuscan, rising to serve, rising to lead.
Okay.
is your name?
My name is Ngozi Ochuba. I'm a pharmacist by profession.
Okay, so how has Achievement Channel inspired you in the past year?
Thank you. I actually came to Achievement Channel as a panel in Inspire Her. So I came the first time. I just thought it was like, let me just come and see what it's all about and see what I can offer too. But going on after the first episode, it made me go back, to reassess, rethink, and I saw it was really something noble, because through this platform, I see myself also being able to proffer solutions to the problems, everyday problems we see in our society, especially with women, because I'm on the Inspire Her panel. So, the everyday problem women face, the challenges women face, and how to add value not only to yourself, but to the society in general. And you now understand that you can make change from wherever you are. You start from where you are, with the resources you are, and the ripple effects over time, it's there.
Hello, ma'am. What's your name?
My name is Gwen Abiola Oloke.
When you think of the word achievement, what comes to mind?
Well, first of all, there must be tangible results. There must be growth. There must be impact on others. And there must be sustainability. So in other words, you can replicate that same event, and positive impact on others.
My name is Esther Budage.
What impact has Achievement Channel had in the past 1 year?
Well, Achievement Channel has done so well. It's an inspirational channel, a motivational channel, and also an educational channel. So a lot of people are happy with the channel because there's so much to learn on the channel. And talking about speaking up and confidence, the channel is doing so well there because from what we do in Achievement Channel, a lot of people are now beginning to have more confidence and they can now speak with clarity. And that's very good. Also in the area of women taking leads in their businesses, women are now beginning to take hold of their businesses and also doing well for themselves. So the channel is doing so well and I'm proud of the channel. Thank you.
So your name?
Hi, good evening. My name is Ayodele Oluwole.
When you think of Achievement Channel, could you describe it in one sentence?
One sentence, I would say Achievement Channel, we see possibilities. It's a place for possibilities to be seen. Because if you look at what we're trying to do on the Achievement Channel, we're trying to bring in achievers. We're trying to highlight, some of those basic principles that they applied that has helped them to be where they are today. So it is seeing possibility in people, seeing, identifying potentials, seeing how people have been able to maximize their potentials and, make the best use of it. So it is a very good channel to watch. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is John Ewudagi.
How do you see Achievement Channel growing in the next 1 year?
I see them achieving very great achievements, greater heights, because they have started a very solid foundation. And with what they have been able to do in 1 year, I believe they can build on that and achieve something, maybe 4 times what they have achieved this year.
Ma, please, your name?
My name is Ambassador Mrs. Imelda Hondo-Suji, the founder of Women and Modesty Global Initiative, an NGO that kicks against indecent dressing and indecent acts in the society.
What does Achievement Channel mean to you personally?
Oh, it means a lot to me. We have many channels, but I picked interest in this because it is educational and it is informative. It is a channel that while watching it, you forget yourself. You learn a lot from channels. Yeah.
Ma, please, your name and what you do?
My name is Helen Onwa Odeleye. I'm a broadcaster, I'm a teacher, and what else? A media executive.
Okay, so what does Achievement Channel mean to you personally?
Achievement Channel for me is like everything put together that suggests success, that suggests progress, that suggest achievement, if I'm using that word again. And so if you're looking at achievement, it's like a very small word, but the channel has come on board to expand it. And it's come to say to us that the achievement channel is that channel that brings you the A, B, and C through the stories of several people, for us to understand better in practice what success means in every facet of life, in every profession, in relationships, in humanity, and so many more. Thank you. Hi there, my name is Helen Omaodeleye, and I am so excited and proud to be associated with the Achievement Channel. Achievement Channel is everything that you would ever want in a television program, in content development, and you know, when you are looking for those things that you don't find everywhere that leads you to that path of success, self-actualization, and entertainment. Yeah, it's not only just talking, there's a lot of entertainment and a lot of excitement on the Achievement Channel. So please make sure that you're tuned to this channel on YouTube and on all the other platforms on a regular basis. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anika Ade Funke Treasure. I'm asking you to keep watching Achievement Channel, looking for a powerhouse for motivation, inspiration, warmth, and vavavoo. Achievement Channel. Keep watching.
My name is Ambassador Mrs. Imelda Osuji, the founder of Women and Modesty Global Initiative, an NGO that kicks against indecent dressing in Nigeria and the whole world. Keep watching Achievement Channel. Keep watching Achievement Channel. It is educational and informative.
Success is not just about what you do, but how you show up. Your style speaks before you do. Style is confidence, and confidence drives success. From the boardroom to the runway, your presence matters. Welcome to Style to Success, where fashion meets ambition. Your journey to success starts with confidence. This is Style to Success, only on the Achievement Channel. Follow us at Achievement Channel for more style and success insights.
Hello and welcome to Style to Success, the show where style meets strategy on the journey to professional excellence. I am your host Ayodele Oluwole, and you're watching Style to Success on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio right here in Ikoyi, Lagos, Nigeria. On this program, we celebrate bold, stylish and visionary individuals who have transformed their passion for appearance, fashion and self-expression into thriving careers and meaningful achievements. Today's guest is a dynamic professional with over a decade of experience in Nigeria's fast-moving consumer goods industry. A seasoned sales and route-to-market expert, she currently serves as the National Sales Manager at Unilever Nigeria PLC. Her name is Augusta Ihigebolo, a powerful voice in leadership, innovation and growth, with a bachelor's degree in economics and statistics from the University of Benin and a master's in general management from the University of Lagos. Augusta combines insight, presence, and professionalism to drive results, mentor teams, and build a personal brand that truly stands out. Augusta, you're welcome to Style to Success.
Thank you so much.
It's nice to have you on Style to Success.
My pleasure.
I mean, I understand how your schedule can be, but at least you made out time to come.
Yes.
And it's nice. And I'm sure a lot of people can't wait to hear your story and how your style has, inspired success. So I want to start with this. Let's talk about identity. Beyond the professional title.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your, your personal background and your journey.
Okay, so thank you once again, Olu, for having me here. It's my pleasure. From the personal side of things, I actually did not live my life in Lagos. I actually came to Lagos to, like we say, hustle. My entire background was in Benin City. I had my nursery, primary, secondary school, and then university from the Great University of Benin, where I studied economics and statistics. I'm actually the last child of my mom. I grew up in a, well, I call it a single home, right? My mom raised the three of us. Yeah, my dad was not around, but we see him once in a while. So I think growing up in Benin, those people who grow up in Benin can relate with the lifestyle and all the things that go around in Benin City. Benin City builds you up in a certain way. You become a certain way in terms of having courage, having strength. So that sort of formed the kind of individual that I became. So I think sometime in 2008, I went to do my NYC in Abuja, and my entire life was to work in a bank. I used to like bankers, the way they, deck up in their suits, move from place to place. But maybe I didn't understand the whole work that goes into that space. But I just, as I read economics and statistics, if I mentioned earlier, and my ambition was to become a banker. I got that opportunity in Skybank when I went to serve in Abuja. I did my NYC there for 1 full year, and I was in marketing, right? So somehow I achieved my dream. I don't think that the experiences there deterred me from not being a banker, but somehow, I think the financial crisis of 2009 affected me in not entering into the bank. If I look back today, I'm excited I didn't go into banking, right? So I stayed 1 year, and then I was looking for a job, in Lagos here. I don't know how it entered my head that shipping was another big thing. Wow. So I was looking for a company that does shipping. I wanted to work in Maersk. But I didn't get the opportunity. But I got the opportunity working in a company called IAL. We're into relocations and removal. So when we have expatriates coming into Nigeria and they want to bring their personal effects into Nigeria, we're responsible for ensuring those effects come safely and in good condition. And then if they wanted to also leave Nigeria to their home country, we also help them to pack their personal effects. So I did that. As I got there, I spent about a year as a sales executive, and then it entered my mind again and said, you are selling services, you don't see what you are selling. Why don't you look for a company where you can actually do sales and sell physical products? And so I saw an advert, I applied, I didn't know the company. And people who are in Lagos are very exposed, right? You know so many things. Like, I know you grew up in Lagos, so you can relate. You know so many things about career, about industries. But those of us who are coming from, if you don't have elder ones who have come into Lagos, who sort of expose you to what's happening in the industry or what's happening in the economy, you might be really blindsided. There's certain industries that you could play. So I didn't know about companies like Nestle or Unilever or PZ. I had no idea. But I just knew that I wanted to sell a product, a physical product. And so I saw the adverts for looking for sales people, and then I applied, and then passed the test, did the interview, and then the second interview leg was when I now found out that it was Unilever, right? So I did the interview there, met with the sales director, and eventually got the job. It was a stream, a sales stream. So they called us a sales army, like the first sales army. So we got into that job. And that's how I started my journey in sales, and then also in FMCG industry.
That's great. I think that highlights the fact that you follow your passion. I love the fact that you said you are happy that you didn't end up in banking. That it simply shows that okay, you are now fulfilling your purpose. You are like fulfilling your passion. Yeah. And it is it is imperative to have passion for whatever you're doing, which is one of those things that affect your overall productivity. Absolutely. So talking about passion, so let's talk about, you chose the FMCG industry. So I want to know, how did you develop that strong passion for sales and strategy?
I wouldn't say I developed it. I would say I stumbled into it. So if I go back to my desire to work in a bank, before we entered the bank, we used to hear how difficult being a marketer was, right? So most of us avoided, that space. So if you were going to go in the bank, you wanted to be in operations, right? How I got into sales is, I can tell the story, quite short. When I got the opportunity to work in Skybank, right, I was posted to a branch, and in that branch, I was working in the operations where they do check, So I sat down. It was like it's a back end department. Right? Nobody sees you. Sales marketing is quite front end, so people really respect such spaces. But operations is back end, so we're doing the check, and some ladies there were telling me that, why are you here now? That don't you know that if you are here after you finish your NYC, people will not remember you. There's people who are in sales that they will actually remember to retain. Like you are just at the back end, nobody remember you. So I was like, it doesn't even matter. Let me just do my 1 year first. I mean, God can do anything, But because we were coppers, they wanted us to open an account in the branch where we were working, and then send the account to the head office. But that day, I don't know what happened. My branch, their system was down. So I couldn't open the account. I'm like a young couple and I needed money. And they said that if I didn't bring the account number, let's say maybe one particular day, like 3 p.m., they were going to send the names to Lagos and my name would not be among the list. So I took permission from my branch, which was on Aminu Kano, if you know Abuja very well. And then I went to the head office in Gimbia. That was where the head office is. So as soon as I entered to talk with the guy who was sending the list, I don't know, I can't remember the guy. I can remember his first name, but his name is, he sat down, and as soon as I entered, he called me and said, come. Well, you know the one I interviewed about 2 weeks ago? I said, yes. And why are you now? Which particular branch are you? I told him. What unit are you in? I told him. He said, no. He said, you have a very good aura. You have this confidence about you. Why will you be in operations? You will not shine. You will not shine. He just called another guy. Come, no, I want this girl. Change her. Let her go and meet this other person who is opening a new branch. She should go there and go and do sales. And that's how I was a bit scared. I was afraid. And, but he told me you can do it. There's nothing there. I said, okay, let me just follow him. And that was the last day I went to that other branch. And I went to the new branch. And that's how I started working in sales. So I stumbled into sales. But I found out that sales is what we all do every day. Right now, we're all doing sales. We're selling ourselves. We're talking about different things. So my passion for it, coupled with the personality that I have, because I love to talk with people, I love to meet people, I love to socialize a lot. And that's how I just found myself in sales. And years down the line, I'm grateful for it.
Good one. It's good to hear that very inspiring story.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned something like, the aura and everything. So I want to ask now, talking about your appearance, at what point did you, realize that your appearance and your personal brand, can really influence leadership success for you?
Yeah, I won't say I realized early, right? So I won't say I realized early. I think you get those moments as you go along the way. It's not something, there's some people that are very blessed. From the get-go, they know how to put themselves together. And then if they are blessed, they have the right economics to make sure everything adds up. But along the way is when I found out that you have to be dressed for the part, right? But this dressing is not just physical, right? Your dressing must start from your mind. You must understand who you are. And it's from translating who you are that you're able to express yourself when it comes to whether it's fashion, whether it's how you put your pieces together. Some of us dress to please others. I dress for comfort. I dress the way I feel, not necessarily because I want somebody else to see me and like me or say I like what you like. It's what makes me comfortable, and what I think will make me comfortable throughout the day is what I put on. So I think having a good dress sense, understanding that it's not necessarily about the, how will I say, it's not necessarily about maybe the what you are wearing. It's how you piece them together. It's how clean they look. It's how you have put everything, whether it's color-wise, whatever you have done is actually selling you. That's the first thing that people see before you even start opening your mouth to talk. So I think it's very important. And I would say that it's something that I won't say I've just gotten that, I have it. No, it's something that I learn as I go along in my journey.
That's a good one. Good to hear that. So where do you see the intersection of style and confidence in, high performance workplaces like Unilever? I know how, I'm sure you know that confidence is vital when you are working in such a place. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's number one. I think confidence is number one. Not confidence in what you are putting on. And some people know how to style themselves, and that's just it. When you see them, they look good. But when it comes to delivering on the job, they're almost empty. So I think two of them have to go hand in hand. So if you are good on your job and you complement it on how you show up, then that works greatly for you. So you can't have one, and then leave the other, right? It has to be that it's something you are deliberate and intentional about, both on your performance and both on the way that you appear, the way people perceive you, So if you have confidence, fine. But there are other things that help you enhance confidence. So I give an example. Somebody is very confident, but he's going to a meeting and he comes in with a shirt that is not ironed. Somehow, even though you have confidence, that particular glitch that day will impact the way you present yourself. True. So you have to know where you are going to. You have to know who you are talking to. So there's a dress sense for every event. It's not like you can just tie Iro and Buba and go somewhere and you're having a proper meeting. It's not that you can't do it. That can even be a style in a sense. It can become your style. Some people can just define, and this is the style I want to be known. There was a guy in my office. Every time you see him, he was putting on, a complete, like what you are wearing now with cap, fully dressed. If that becomes your identity, then it's very good. And you have the confidence to carry it through. Fantastic. So it can help you define who you are. Everybody just knows that, this is your signature. And it has to be something that speaks for you and complements the confidence that you have.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So, I want to ask this because I read in your profile how important, self-development has been to you. So why is self-development, innovation, and entrepreneurship very important to you? And how has this impacted, your career path?
So three very important concepts. So self-development,
yes, innovation, entrepreneurship.
And entrepreneurship. So I, for one, believe that the greatest investment you can ever have is an investment in yourself. And that's where self-development comes into play, right? At every level, whatever took you to that level is not what will keep you on that level. So you have to continuously improve on who you are. Whether it's the way you talk, whether it's the way you deliver on your job, whether it's the way you dress, whether it's the way you express yourself in a meeting, it has to be continuous development. Because as we are now, we are told that the world is moving. We're just not moving with it, but it's moving. Like the earth, let me not say the word, the earth is moving, right? So that means everything is in constant movement. So if you don't stay in one place. If you stay in one place, you're not developing, you're not staying in one place. You're actually moving backwards because things are moving forward. So you can't say I'm in the same place, right? So self-development for me is critical if you really want to achieve your dreams. You even have to sharpen on the values that you have every point in time. You have to redefine yourself in terms of what values define me, right? And those things come with self-development, right? You also mentioned innovation. Self-development has to be innovative, right? If you say you are going to develop yourself, the way you develop yourself changes with time. And the things you are developing yourself changes with time. So everybody now is speaking AI. That's innovation that you have to plug into it. But for you to plug into it, you are self-developing yourself. So those things go hand in hand. Innovation for me is trying to do things better. There's something I tell my kids every day. Leave things better than you met it. so that it becomes a way that you live your life. You can't pass this place now and somebody says, Augusta just passed this place, see how scattered the place is. Because I've just written my name on the but if I pass here and I clean it up, they say somebody who passed here, I've left a very strong impression about myself. And that's what innovation is about adding value, about doing things better, getting things done faster, more efficiently, So innovation is very critical in the way I think. I don't like to think in a in a static way. I like to think in, okay, what can we do better? What can we do?
Think ahead.
Not necessarily think, just think differently. Like, okay, this thing now, is there a different way we can do it? I like to surround myself also. I get very excited when I hear big things that people are doing. When I was, the first time I became like a manager for other managers, as an area sales manager, right? I used to tell my team that, come on, Omo. They say people should go and sell Omo. You can't sell Omo. What about people who are opening people's head and removing blood clots? Those are big things. What are people are going to the moon? Those are mighty things. So when you think of what people are doing, then you start seeing what you are doing as small compared to what they are doing, and you start challenging yourself. And that's why you have to self-develop. That's why you have to innovate. And then the last one is my very extremely, extremely dear to my heart is entrepreneurship. Not all of us will be entrepreneurial, because entrepreneurship, I used to think it's anything business. If I sell this cup, you're an entrepreneur. But I think in one of the classes that I had while doing my MBA, they redefined it as, adding value to what so you want to do this cup now, you can't just carry it and sell it. You have to add something on top of it. That's adding value. That's you becoming entrepreneurial. So you see how innovation, entrepreneurship, self-development, all of them work hand in hand. So for me, it's good. Not everybody will be an entrepreneur, but you can be entrepreneurial even where you are working. So you can be thinking of what is the best way within a company that I can do something, what is bringing value to this company that I work for, what are the new things that we can do that can help us drive business growth. That way you are actually tuning your brain to think like an entrepreneur.
That's a good one. And I think that's a concept they call the intrapreneurship.
Yeah.
Yes, practicing entrepreneurship in an organization.
Yes.
So it's a good one, Augusta. Thank you so much for sharing this insight. And viewers, we still have Augusta in the studio. We'll take this very short commercial break, and when we're back, we'll hear more from her. Please stay tuned.
Eloquence focuses attention on the message and the audience.
I find it very interesting, exciting, educative.
It was very beneficial.
Definitely would learn a whole lot.
Thank you. The delivery was second to none.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
So you're welcome back. It has been a very nice session with Augusta, and we still have her on the show. Augusta, you're welcome back.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to take you straight into the next question, and this has to do with your personal values, your authentic self, and creativity. So I want to find out how do you maintain a personal style, that aligns with your corporate role without losing authenticity or creativity?
Thank you, Olu. I think quite an interesting question. In my mind, the first thing is you have to define what your values are, right? So before you say you're authentic, what makes you authentic, right? If you don't understand that bit, then every other thing is just you are dancing around the circle. if I as Augusta does not know what I term as a value, so for me, having or being a very courageous person is a strong value for me. And when I say courageous, in the sense that if I go into a meeting and I have something to say, I will say it irrespective of the fear that I feel, or maybe I might mess somebody up or something. So that for me is a strong value. I also believe in having integrity. So that means if somebody wants me to do something that I do not feel will give me sleep at night, I will not do it. Once I've defined what makes me as an individual authentic, then every other thing I can build on top of it. So that means how I show up is, so I can choose. I'm coming today now. If I were to put on a suit, it will not be my authentic self, because on a regular you will not see me on a suit. You will see me dressed like this. This is my authentic self. This is how I want to show up. However, if I have, to your question, how do you match that to your corporate role? If I'm going for a board meeting, or if I'm going for something external, then I cannot necessarily dress like this. I have to myself to the environment that I'm going to meet. So that's how you create that balance. Not necessarily losing yourself, but understanding the audience that you are going to be meeting in the event that you are going, and the role that you also be playing in that event, right? So being a corporate professional does not stop you from being who you are, but it also makes you to know, who am I first, and how do I want to show up in that event, and what is necessary for me, what is required for me, you know, as an individual. And once you can put those things together, it helps you to show up in your best self.
Oh, great one.
Yeah,
great one. And you know, as a woman leading in a very competitive field,
highly competitive,
it can be a Herculean task.
Yes.
I perfectly understand that.
Yeah.
So for you, what are the challenges? What are those major challenges you have faced as a woman, operating in such a highly competitive field? And how has your presence, not just your performance, helped you to navigate these challenges?
Yeah, I think I've been blessed with the company that I work with. I don't think that in the company, in Unilever per se, we sort of create any dichotomy between, oh, you're a man or you're a woman. It's about performance, right? It's about what you bring to the table. So I've not worked in a lot of places, right? So I mentioned only 2 places before I worked in Unilever, and I've worked in Unilever now for about 14 years, right? The environment created in that place encourages you to bring your best self to work, irrespective of your gender, right? And most organizations talk about this gender equality, but not every organization practices it. I can say for Unilever, we practice it. So it's not about your gender, right? It's about what you bring to the table. And the organization creates an environment understanding who the woman is. I mentioned before that what I'm talking about, I have 3 kids, right? And I'll tell a very funny story. My first child, I think I had her in 2014, and I just come back from mat leave, right? So maternity leave was like 4 months. And then in the 11th month, so I just had a child, and then 11th months after, I found out I was pregnant again, right? And I wasn't thinking, in my mind, I was like, I just came back from mat leave, 4 months, and now I want to go for another one, maybe in 9 months' time. And I was, I was crying, I was feeling bad, and I said, who do I talk to? So I went to meet my line manager. I was like, why are you feeling bad? Something this good? No. He encouraged me, through the process. So that's the kind of organization that we, and nobody will make reference to that fact that, oh, this person just got back, oh, this person's rating should be like this in terms of performance. So it's about the environment that you work. Is it encouraging enough as a woman to help you thrive? I have been blessed to have that kind of environment. So it helps me to manage my home and also manage work and give my best, to those both sides of my life.
I think it's so good to hear this, having superiors that can motivate you, that can support you, that you can, that can give very good advice at such a point, and that is very important. And I'm so happy for you that you're blessed to be in such, an environment that can encourage you to overcome some more challenges.
Yeah, but if you find that you are not in such a place, you have to choose your battles. What I mean by choosing your battle, as a human being, first of all, you are the machine that does the work. Now, if the machine does not work very well, that means the work cannot be done. So my point is that you prioritize yourself first. So as a woman, let me speak for myself, I don't know, but I know most women will always prioritize family over work, right? So if you are in a place where you are not given the opportunity to, my son has something to do, can I take just a few hours to do it and come back? Or my daughter has a prize giving day, and you are not in that environment that encourages you to play those roles as a woman, to get home early. Then you have to, how will I say, you have to wait. What is my priority, right? Is my priority about having enough money, or my priority about being there for my family? And it can be at a certain stage. Maybe you have younger children, so you have to now make those choices, right? So it's not everybody is blessed to have an environment or a workplace that helps you, manage those two sides of your life. But if you are not in that kind of environment, then you have to make a choice to say, what is priority for me right now, at this time of my life, at this stage of my career? Family, you will never get back the time that you lose. But career, you can manage. You can leave career now, come back in 2 years, 3 years. But every hour, every time you are missing your kids, you might never be able to get it back.
Good one. Right. Well done. Yeah. It's good to hear that. And this takes me to the next question. And I will be talking about mentors, basically. When you are in a career path, in a very distinct, career path, you have people you look up to.
Yeah.
Some of them mentors. They can be, the same people in the workplace. It could be people that are working outside your territory. So what I want to say basically is, who are those people that you can consider as mentors? And that I'm sure in many ways looking up to them could have helped your leadership success. And what are those lessons, those specific lessons you've learned from them that has helped you to grow to where you are today?
It's a very tough question for me to answer, because really I struggle with mentorship, right? I struggle in looking up to one person to say, but at every point in my life, I've had people that I respected a lot, and I loved the way they had delivered on their job and who they are. So one of my bosses then, Nkechi Omozeji, that's her name. She was my first regional manager, first female regional manager, and she was my line manager. I love the way she led, with this, somebody leads you with love, still scolds you when you don't do the job, but is very interested in your growth, So that was one person at the beginning of my career that I really, really looked up to. As I grew, it's not necessarily any particular figure. Per time, it can be Oprah Winfrey. For me, just looking up. Sometimes it can be Michelle Obama. I don't say this person, no, I'm so fixated on what this person is doing. No, for me, it's about, I pick my mentors from books. I pick it from, maybe I go to somewhere, somebody talks about somebody, I go and check the person and see what they've achieved. And so this I find very inspiring. So that is one person I have loved in my career, to say, I like the way she had led, she led very well, not taking away the empathy, but still doing the job. So that's something I keep reflecting to say, as a leader today, yes, you can still do the job and you can still show care to your people that you are working with. So I wouldn't necessarily have people and names to call, but per time it can be anybody that I just look up to.
Good one. You've mentioned the points, and at least you've answered the question in a very good way, because at least one or two ways you picked one or two things from them, which has really helped you to grow.
For me, it's about people who are doing great things, actually.
Yes.
People who are changing the world. I don't know if I can change the world, but I just know that some people are doing and sometimes they can be very silent. You might not know them. You can just stumble on them and you hear their story and you say, wow, so somebody is doing something this impactful, So those are the kind of people that really, you know, like, sometimes I can even get excited by a priest, you know, somebody who is just, I'm living my life for this purpose, and nothing can shake me away from it. Those are the kind of things that inspire me. Maybe not something I can achieve personally, but I love looking at people who achieve such great things.
So how do you balance, you know, fast-paced demands of national sales management with self-expression and wellness?
Okay. So anybody who does sales will know how high pressure it is, and like you said, very, very fast-paced, in the sense that every day comes with its own challenge. So it's almost like you are putting fires every day, right? So for us in sales, you say, I've delivered September, but Q4 is here. So the next day, 1st of October, you're already chasing something in October, right? And you cannot, it's a job that you cannot, being in sales, you can't go home and just be sleeping carelessly. It follows you into your dreams. You are just thinking, how do I meet the numbers? How do I? So it's highly pressured, very fast paced. But how I got, I don't want to call it like a light bulb moment, no. Sometime in 2019, I experienced something that actually, you know, jerked me out of, you know, fully immersing yourself in a job with your emotions and everything, that it then starts affecting your health, right? So that's why wellness, when you are doing any job, you have to be able to separate your emotions from the job. That at the point where you are doing the job, you give your all, but when you step back to relax, you have to actually relax, because if not, like I mentioned, you are the machine. If the machine is not working properly, you will never bring your best self, and you will never bring the best performance that the company deserves, right? So for me, it's about giving my best while I'm there. But if I have a time to relax and spend time with the people that I love, or do the things that I love, I also give my all to that time, right? I'm still struggling on it. I'm not saying I'm there. Sometimes I'm at home and I'm working. It's not something I would like to leave the office and come home and just chill, right? So I think that we have to be very intentional in that space. What I do is that I don't do everything myself. So you might not find me that during the day, or let me say during the week, I'm the one sweeping my house and cleaning. So I have some things I have contracted out. So if God blesses you and you have the means, you can get a driver. So by the time you're inside the car, you are resting your brain. You have people that clean your house, so that you don't overstretch yourself, because you're not superwoman. So the things that I can get other people to do for me, I make sure that I get those people to do it for me, so that I have enough time for myself. That's how I create that balance. Also, we talk about healthy eating, exercising. I try to infuse it in my busy schedule, you know, take a walk, you know, listen to things that excite you, music. I'm not a TV person. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I read books, I listen to music, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and those things just give me that balance that I require. So in a very high pressure day, once I'm done, when I come home, I know, okay, this thing will not kill me, you know, it won't kill me. Let me just, tomorrow again, we'll pick it up. So it's about mindset that you have, you know, knowing that if anything happens to you, the job will move. So you first are priority. Focus on that priority, and then every other thing will follow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so good to hear this. And I think what you're trying to highlight is it is very important to, you know, take your wellness. You shouldn't take it with levity, basically. At least you should deliver at your job and still make sure that you are in a very good state of mind, because it is very, very important. Thank you so much, Augusta. So I will ask you this last question, but not least, and it has to do with advice. You know, what we're trying to do is to inspire the young generations that to come. So what advice have you for young professionals, especially women, who want to match their personal style with a very huge career growth?
Okay. So I'm just trying to take my time to respond. So I might not speak to everybody, but I think the first thing is to set your mind on where you want to go, right? And then when you set your mind on where you want to go, then you now define, how do I get there, and then every day you are doing something, you are asking yourself, what I'm doing now, does it take me to where I want to go? Not everybody will aspire to lead companies. Not everybody will aspire to own businesses. Some people, and I'm saying in my next life, I just want to be a housewife. I'll just chill. My one is to iron clothes and to take children to school. It's very fine, but you have to define who do I want to be? How do I want to get there? And then every day you are saying, this thing I'm doing now, does it take me to that place? Right? Because if you don't have that sense of clarity, you might be doing so many things, and eventually you see you have born 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and you say, I've just missed, I missed this thing because I didn't know. So I think it's good for young people, especially for women, to define very clearly, what's that thing? What's my North Star? Where am I going to? Once you have that clarity, then you start defining, okay, what values will I carry as I go along? So that every wind will not pull you, right? Because you can say, I want to be the MD of a company, but you don't have values that are defined, and then somebody tells you, come and do this, so that you become this, or come and do that. Because your values are not defined, they can pull you everywhere. So be clear on your destination, be clear on how you will get there, be clear on the things that you require, the tools that will be in your toolbox that will help you as you navigate that journey, right? And give yourself some, breather. Don't put yourself under too much pressure, right? Life is not, if I knew some of the things that I know now, some of the things I did I wouldn't have even, Then pick up skills, right? Very important for women to have very diverse skills. Don't be too singular or one way in the kind of skills that you have. It can be different things, hand skill, brain skill, anything. Just have different things that can help you build your economy, right? If you have those things, and remember that you're not alone on the journey, get a lot of people to support you. Don't do it in isolation. Don't do it alone. Get people, family members, friends, let them join you on the journey. You can't make it on your own, right? Because you have so many things. A woman has 1 million jobs, but the men, you people cannot relate to it, but a woman is always thinking of so many things at the same time. So if you are the one that wants to do everything, then you will break down, right? But if you have people who are, journeying with you, then the load becomes a bit lighter. So those are the few things that I would say. And there are basic things. The thing is that we don't do basic things. There are things that takes you just a few days. You can clearly say, this is what I want to do. They are basic, but just that we don't do basic things. When you do the basic things, set the foundation, then you can rise from there.
Thank you so much, Augusta. Yeah. So it is important for young professionals to have clearly defined purpose, which will, inform the path that they will tread in life.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Augusta. And it's been an amazing session with you. Thanks for making our time to come to Start Success.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I do appreciate it.
Hey, this is Habiba Balogun, Chair of the 11th Champions of Talent Development Conference by Learning and Development Network. Shout out to who? The Achievement Channel.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tayo Oluwole, and I want to say a special shout out to the Achievement Talent. You guys are doing great thing, and you are really, really inspiring us with most of the content you are churning out. And I am proud to even say that you are our partner in progress with some of the things you are turning out. Thank you very much.
Augusta, it's been such a pleasure having you on Start Success. Your story is a reminder that leadership isn't just about what you know or what you do. It is about how you show up. Thank you for inspiring us. And to you watching at home, remember this: how you carry yourself can just be as powerful as what you carry on your CV. Style isn't just surface, it is strategy. Thank you for joining us on Start Success here on the Achievement Channel. Let's continue this important conversation. Follow at the Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for more Start Success updates. Use the hashtag we see possibilities and share your thought with us. I am Ayodele Oluwole, and see you next time.
possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today. Impossibility is nothing.
Welcome to Teachers World, where we celebrate the heroes of education. Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Hello everyone and welcome to Teachers World. I'm your host David Obianyo. Today we have a special guest who is making Nigeria and all of Africa proud. She was recently named the best teacher in Africa by the African Union. But more than the award, hard helping girls, supporting students with disabilities and teaching us all how to live in peace. Please welcome the amazing Adeola Adefemi.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Welcome back. I have with me in the studio the superstar Adeola Adefemi. Trust me when I say she's a superstar. It's good to have you here.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so I have it on good authority that you're not just in the classroom, and that brings us to our topic, teaching beyond the classroom and helping every child succeed. You're also into peace, and that's where your peace podcasting comes into play. So with that, I'm going to ask you, how does this help children in terms of bullying and tension in the classroom?
I like this particular question because I've been asked so many times, why peace podcasting? Why don't you go for symposia, workshops, have conversations with teachers, adults taking over? But the thing about young people, children, they find it easy to work with things that are interactive. And when it has to do with student to students, it's interactive. But when it comes to adults, they see it as a lecture, so they're not always very forthcoming. And we know when it comes to our society, forget about bullying, let's even look at it from conflict side. It is a thing of we're all different and our diversity is very fine. Now, for every classroom, we're a reflection of who we are as a society. We can see this in our classrooms. Our students are coming with their diverse, lived experiences. They're coming with their trauma, and they're all different. And we're always very quick to label the students, oh, this annoying boy, this Yoruba girl, this Igbo boy. So we tend to give them these labels. But when it comes to peace podcasting, the students tell their stories. But it's, however, it's very, very discreet. We make sure not everybody can be seen because they're not comfortable. It's about traumatic things. The truth about the issue is that with this podcast, we can remove the labels and replace them with stories. So you are listening to those kids, you are listening to their stories, they're telling their true stories. So you take away the labels, the unserious boy, the annoying girl, the see human being with real stories, with real problems. And from there, the bullying stops because they get to put themselves in the position of those that are telling those stories. So that's one thing it helps. And it helps with, sorry. And another thing it helps with is empathy.
Empathy, I was going to say that.
Yes, it's deep for the students when they talk about their stories. It's deeper for even the adults around. And when you're talking about things you've experienced as a child in your society, in your community, or you're experiencing right in the classroom, everybody, at that point, people want to empathize with you. Like they're not looking at it from the angle of, okay, maybe because he's unique in his way, this is his attitude, this is a me problem, or this is a person problem. This time around, you're seeing yourself in these individuals when they tell the stories. And I think the most important one for me, it gives everybody a nuanced understanding of our differences. We are all different. I mean, different in everything. But when the students tell their stories, you get to understand that being quiet doesn't mean arrogance. Being you know, we're quick to label these kids when we're in class, you're teaching, and it's a particular quiet child in your class, and you feel, oh, maybe he's quiet because he doesn't want to talk, because he's rude, is this, is that. I'll give you a very good example. Just recently, one of the schools I'm working with, there was a particular student that was reported, and everybody labeled him as rude. And I kept asking them, what is it about this boy that you see as rude? Now, the problem, before the boy started talking about his issues, I mean, during the podcast, was they felt that, okay, after every offense, you need to apologize by prostrating. I mean, this is a Yoruba culture, and yes, it's in the Yoruba community, but this child is not Yoruba. This child is from the north, and he doesn't see things like that. Before he can apologize to you, he has to feel wronged, or feel that he wasn't wrong. Yeah. Or he was wronged. And it was, the teachers expected him to just apologize, because all the people that offended alongside apologized by prostrating, and the boy didn't. And everybody labeled him as rude. And before we could say Jack Robinson, his name was placed in the black book. And I kept asking, have you asked questions? Before the boy joined, that was the first thing I said, have you asked questions? Have you gotten to know what is wrong, why he did that? Because this is a very brilliant boy. He's represented your school in different competitions, and now you're labeling this boy, and probably you may even ruin his future because you labeled him as rude and you've placed his name or put his name in the black book. And at the end of the day, the boy was told to write a letter, which he did, and he explained himself that where he comes from, you have to ask questions before you can apologize, because apology for him is deeper than just surface level. And at the end of the day, the teachers were impressed because the letter was very deep. Even before the boy started talking, the letter was to every teacher that was there during the issue. So at the situation, yeah, at the end of the day, they had a change of mind. If I'd not been there, I'm probably sure that boy's name will remain in the black book. So sometimes I think it just gives you a nuanced understanding of our differences, of our diversity, and it's coming from the angle or from the lens of a child. Okay. So also, I think the most important thing is it gives them a voice. The visibility gives them the voice. Like, there's some people that are very quiet. They really do not like talking, not because they don't want to talk, but because they're too shy to talk.
Now, their voice increases their confidence.
I think that's the most important one. One of our students, also from the north, don't know a Nigerian. She had the same issue too for a long time. She would never say anything. And now for the Peace Podcast, and it's not just about English. We're not talking about English. You can say it in your language, and there will be someone there to translate. So you can do it in Hausa. We usually do Pidgin, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo sometimes, because we don't have an interpreter for the Igbo. So we do more for Pidgin. But now we have words.
That's a podcast I would have loved to be a part of, trust me. It's something I can already relate to, thinking about it. And something you said is the fact that the classroom is like a microcosm of the society, how diverse we are. And as a teacher, if you can handle what goes on in your school and in your classroom, it speaks more about your character.
Most definitely.
Well, I've always told you I like the way you speak, the way you sound, and it's so good to have you
here. Thank you very much.
So, you've worked in various schools in the public sector, and I can imagine, as a teacher myself, I have been in the private sector, and I know the discrepancies between the public and the private. So, for teachers who are working with children with disabilities, with limited resources, how do you think you can speak to them to help handle the situation better with children with disabilities?
Okay, I'll speak from my own experience. First as a child, then as an adult. Before I became a teacher, I told people that knew that I did not want to be. I told people that I did not want to be a teacher. But if eventually I become a teacher, I'll be the teacher I, as a child, needed the most. That was the thing I had then. I said, I'll be the teacher that I needed the most. And why did I say this? I think the most important thing when it comes to a child that is divergent is to be seen. I'm not saying give them visibility. See them. These are human beings, not just people in uniform. This is a real person with real emotion and with real issues. So I think the most important thing is just make them feel seen. Let them feel seen. Let them
not feel ignored
at all. So it could be something as minute as changing their seat positions, or asking their permission before you call them in front of the class to answer a question. Do you feel comfortable with this question? Do you feel comfortable standing in front of the class? Do you feel comfortable speaking to your friends? It could even be an apology after you offend them. I have a child, not had now, like I have a child, Samuel is in my class, is someone everybody complains about every time. But this boy reminds me of myself, and I know that it's a bit different. I don't think it's difficult for any teacher to know when a child is different. Different is not bad. It's just uniqueness. So I think it's very easy for you to see that, oh, this child is different. It could be something as small as maybe shaking their legs, shaking their hands in class. And everybody complains that you distract my class, you're a ball of energy, you're this, you're... But for me, I keep telling him, whenever he's not around, I tell him, where's Samuel? I ask everybody, where's Samuel? When he's around, I keep asking him questions because he enjoys it. He is different because he's very active, hyperactive. And I know that's the issue teachers have with him. But for the fact that I always ask after him, if he's in class, I speak to him directly. It makes him feel very good. And now Samuel is doing very fine. I mean, he went from writing the way that is not legible to being legible because he's trying to impress someone that sees him. So it's just about seeing them. You don't have to diagnose a child. You don't have to treat a child. You're no doctor. Just make them feel special. Make them feel like, I see you, you're here. I hear you. And it could even be a slight change to some of the activities. You can't control the scheme of work. You can't control the curriculum, but you can control your activities to suit every child in your class. Maybe not the totality of every child, but at least to manage every child in your class. You can bring in activities that is very diverse. So you know that you're feeding those that are more into the psychomotor side. You're feeding those that are more into the visual, the audio visual, and all that. So it is as small as that. Your job is not there to say, I think you have
diagnosed thing.
Yeah, you are dyslexic or something. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is just make them feel sane. I think it's as important. If someone had made me feel sane, I'm pretty sure I won't be struggling with anxiety right now, because everybody was always over me. No matter how many times I cry in class, because I was always in my shell. I knew I was very brilliant as a child, but my own brilliance wasn't towards academics. I was very good. I could manage everything. I could balance. I come from a family of people that would probably memorize stuff and shake their heads in the exam and get everything. I mean, perfect score. But I wasn't like that. And I knew I wasn't like that, but I could manage it. But the difficulty I had in school was I was more creative with my mind than the academics, and nobody noticed that. And so I kept retreating into my shell. I was just going deeper and deeper until it became an issue. I mean, a big issue that was being taken around, trying to get a cure to whatever it is that I felt was wrong with me. So I see every child, and I think that's okay. Tweaking here and there, touching this and that, and just making them feel that I see you. You're my friend, we're in this class together, we're in this together, you're my partner in learning, and I'm ready to help you is enough, but not for you to diagnose a child or do too much.
All right, educators, you've heard that. It doesn't have to be a diagnostic thing every time. It might just be the little things that bring out the confidence in your children. Can I ask, what grade do you teach?
You call it grade. We call it we call it SS, senior secretary. Like we don't use grade and but if I'm gonna put grades, it's not 13 or something. But we call it SS1, SS2, SS3.
Okay,
so it's always
I'm
difficult.
so used to work with my international
but I think it's about 13
so we
or
do
14.
all the grade and everything. Yes. Can I ask, who are some educators that have inspired you? Like since you became you said you never wanted to be a teacher, or you didn't want to be a teacher. So when you go into the profession, who are some educators that you have looked at and said, okay, I like this person, or I like what this person is doing, or I'm inspired
by this person.
There'll
be different people for different reasons. I'll start with my mother. My mother, she was too, I think I took so much from her, the empathy. Yes, I think that's from my mom. She actually loved what she did prior to our retirement. She enjoyed, and so by the time I started with my programs, I do not like going for grants. I don't enjoy grants. I think there's a lot of pressure on trying to prove I did this, I did that. So I do my things naturally. So I learned so much from my mom how to manage that, and then she's always very supportive. I mean, giving me everything I need. Once I spend my salary on the students, she's always there for. I remember the day she actually retired, she faced me and said, I don't have money for you again. But it's a lie. Every time I go to meet my mom, she's always like, okay, another child, another issue, right? And she's always ready to help. So I think that's the first person I'll have to mention, my mother. And the next person would be Permanent Secretary to the General, Permanent Secretary, Dr. Barrister Sholari. She is the definition of a teacher. She doesn't just teach by words. She's a total teacher. Like everything you can think of. I don't think I can do half of what she's doing in the education sector, or what she's retired as well too, but what she did while she was there, no, I don't think anybody can take her place in my life. And another person that actually inspired me is a man, Mr. Odusoya. He's not as active as, I don't know what happened. He's still doing beautifully well, but I learned so much from him. It was that, I think it was his dedication that actually helped me to do what I do right now. I saw a teacher, I was new at the job, and I saw a teacher that was going all the way, dedication 100%, you know, attitude 100% with the students. It was about the student for him. It wasn't about the monetary, you know, it wasn't about money for him. So I saw that, I saw myself in him, because you can't motivate me with money. I love money, I want to be rich, but if you want to get the best of the best from me, you just have to motivate me with a challenge. And I saw that in Mr. Odusoya, and it's doing very well for himself, but I want to see him pop up more again. And finally, if I can mention one other person, I will say my two friends, Okbeifa and Adeko. I love them, they're my teacher tribe. I call them my teacher tribe. I can be very, you know, I don't want to use that word on myself again, but I get, if things are too intense, I withdraw. But they push me out, they pull me out, they push me to the best, to get to my best, to my peak. And if they don't see me online, what's going on, what's happening, they tell, like I've learned so much from them. I'm still learning from them, and I don't joke with them. Adeko and Okbeifa.
All right, you heard that. It's always important to have people who inspire you, and also you should strive to be an inspiration, and also have a tribe. You can hear that she, the superstar, has a tribe. So with that, we'll go on a break and stay tuned.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Now you too can learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional at any of our centers in Lagos and Abuja.
To register, call 0802 3032 066 or 0706 1606 078, or log on to our website schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence,
teaching the world to speak.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Welcome back to Teachers World. I'm still here with the delectable Adeola Adef. And imagine that not every child in a classroom is a supposed high flyer. How do you work with these children?
Okay, let me start from this. You said 150, of course, it's 150 and counting. I have to put it out there that in those 150 competitions won, over 90% were won by students that are labeled low performing. I mean, that they call repeaters. I mean, students that have repeated twice or more than, you know what I mean by repeating. I know it's not usually done in private schools, but in secondary, in public schools, yes. So these are the students that you would label as low performing. I love to work with kids like that because number one, it's challenging for me, and I believe there's beauty in every child. So in my case, when I talk about competitions, I want the child to know first it's about you. So whatever we do outside the classroom is about you. Whatever we do within the classroom is about you. And I think it's easy for me to get the best out of them because I make them feel special in one thing they can do. There's no child that doesn't know how to do one thing. There is always something they can do. It could be something like dancing. I can go looking for a competition that is about dancing for you to win, so that by the time you enjoy the success, it permeates into the other aspects I want you to win at or winning. So it's, for me, I want you to feel like you can do anything in that one thing you're good at.
You can actually be the best at something.
In that one thing. The moment you feel special in that one thing, it transcends into other things. And so when I see the students, it's always sometimes outside the classroom. I see them walking on the corridor. I see some of them on punishment. And I'm like, what happened? And they tell their story. I'm like, okay, fine. Do you want to work with me? And, you know, I've taught in areas that are underserved. And some of the students have never left their community. They don't even know how the world looks like. I've put students in my cars that don't even know how to open doors. Just the joy of knowing that they're going for a competition, they're always very interested. So it starts from there for me. I tell them, okay, fine, what is that one thing you like doing? Do you like drawing? Do you like this? By the time I get one competition that you can succeed in, I feel most of the time this give them the belief in self. I was telling someone recently, I said, the belief in self doesn't even start from self. It starts from, I want to appreciate this person that sees me. The first time my students succeed is always more like, I want to say thank you to you. You've spent so much time, energy. How can I say thank you to you? I'll do everything in my power to say thank you by winning this competition. And when they do that, they now find out that, okay, fine, if I can win this competition, I can also do well in other things. And that's where they become themselves and, find themselves in themselves. So it's more like I am just like a channel for them to find themselves. So I don't believe in, when you say smartness, when people say intelligence, I believe we are different and different ways. You are very, very diverse, even in our thinking. So people tend to gear towards, you have to be academically inclined, or it has to be in the classroom. It has to be, the moment you can win at something different from the classroom, you can win in the classroom. If you can win in the classroom, you can win outside the classroom. So it's always very grounded. Like, it starts from that for me. And by the time they find their confidence, sometimes I have to sit on the floor with them and tell them that you can't just win at this. So this academics, that's why you're here. That's still going to call me a failure if you don't do so well in class. So I could sit on the floor with them. We'll start from, okay, pronounce this, say this. These students have issues. I mean, different issues outside the classroom. And it sometimes comes into the classroom with them. So it's not because you can't call them that, you can't say they're not smart. It's just that the issues outside the classroom is coming into the classroom with them. So they can't think, they can't function very well. So by the time we sit together and trying to find or prefer solutions together, they're ready to listen. It's not always very easy. I mean, the 150 took great determination. It took a lot away from me. I became so broke at a point. I mean, I had nothing on me. I had nothing because I was using everything I had to help the students. I wanted them to believe so much in themselves. So if it had to do with money, I would get them. I would walk down to their houses. I wanted to meet their parents. I wanted to meet their friends. I wanted to see what makes them tick, as a child. So it took a lot away from me. But at the end of the day, it was more of, let me appreciate this person first. And since I'm appreciating this person and I'm doing so well, maybe I'm not that bad at the end of the day, and some of them just come out doing so well. And I say it anywhere in a day, I work better with students that you call challenging, because I think that's what makes us teachers at the end of the day.
I don't call them challenging.
People call them challenging.
Some people call them challenging.
Yes.
So that was a fantastic response to my question, and that also buttresses the teaching beyond the classroom as a teacher, when you invest yourself outside of the resources that has been provided for you. Now, as a multiple award winner myself, I can imagine that you have been in various spaces and various places with educators. I mean, we're talking Multina Teacher of the Year, Global Teacher Prize finalist. Nothing compares to that as an educator. So again, it's an honor to have you here. So I would like to ask you, what's the next big dream for you, and what do you see in the Nigerian system for education?
I could say, or I would want to say, probably cancel quality assurance, but that would be a joke. Well, most definitely, I'll still talk about the curriculum. For me, this time around, I want a table. And seated there should be, number one, the industry players. We need questions like, what do you want from graduates? What do you expect our graduates? What should they have? What skills, what knowledge should they have? I want them seated at a table. I want educators, lecturers, teachers in the classroom, still on the field, not just retired. People still relevant to the field, people that know what is obtained in the classroom. I want them on that table too, to be able to tell us, okay, this is not obtainable. When you're creating a scheme of work and you're putting 4 topics in 1 week for an English teacher to complete, I think that's not possible in any way. So I need them at that table too. I also need psychologists, children, psychologists at every level at the table to tell us what is okay for kids at every stage. I need special education teachers. It could be something small to be included in some of the activities placed in that scheme or placed in the curriculum. Everybody should be seated on that table, seated at that table, to have these conversations before we create our own curriculum. Enough of lumping different curricula from different countries. Enough of bringing Finland. The Finland we see today, I've read their history. It wasn't like that. They sat down to decide what they want in their curriculum, and that's what's helping them today. So we need those people I mentioned at that table. Let them decide what we should have, and that's what I want the future of Nigeria's education. That's right now. If you ask me, if I wake up in the morning and you ask me, that would be my answer. I want that at that table. And number two, I think it's time we prioritize the arts and foundation of every education system, which are the teachers. We may say, yes, we prioritize them. There are teachers or words at this, but we do not. We know what we do when we are this important rooms. The real teachers, I mean teachers in the classroom, people that love to teach, people that enjoy teaching are not in these rooms. We get to hear whatever it is they said that comes back cascaded to us. We just hear, go do this, do that, but we are not part of that discussion. Stop. We can't say, oh, we want to prioritize education when we don't prioritize teachers. Teachers are very important. We're the ones that will carry out whatever decision you make in those rooms. So why are we not included in those rooms? Why are we always like an afterthought and then really need a little bit of autonomy? Like, the control is too much. It stifles our creativity. A lot of times we are controlled to the point that people cannot. I hear things like, oh, carry your American ways away. I'm not using an American way, but I just don't want a boring class. I don't want a boring lecture. I don't want a boring anything. But it's so hard to do this when there's so much control. The bureaucracy is so crazy. Everybody wants to control the teachers, and it kills everything for you. Sure. And finally, I would say regarding the students, probably at this point, I think they should also be involved, because they're always like an afterthought as well too, and we are in that system because of them. So if everybody can sit on this table, make those decisions, create that curriculum or make that curriculum, I think we'll have the best in the world at this time. So it won't be like, why are you pushing out graduates that can't even answer simple questions? What do you want from graduates? And then we can make those decisions.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I can only agree with you. So my final question, as is traditional on this show, is to ask you to nominate an educator who you would like to see on this show at any point in the future. You can look at the camera and talk to the person. Okay, I would like to have Mrs. Kikelomo Osulu on this show. I would like to see her. And can I nominate one more person? Fine. Okay, probably Adiola Akesulure, my namesake, and she's killing it right now. She's top 10 Global Teacher Prize. Right. Yes, I think she's top 10. Yes, I know she's one of the top 10 Global Teacher Prize ambassadors right now, and I'm praying that she brings the prize home, and I would love to see her here so that we can spend our money together. Yes. All right, good luck to Adiola, and we hope you achieve this goal. I mean, it's something we've been chasing as a nation for a while. So good luck to you, and from us at Teachers World, it was nice having you on the show. Thank you very much. Adiola. Thank you so much. I guess I can invite you some other time. Definitely. Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you for staying tuned.
My name is Mrs. Emmanuel Efe. I'm a teacher by profession. I've been teaching for the past 8 years. This is Achievement Channel, and you are watching Teachers World.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Osage Cynthia. I've been teaching for the past 14 years. This is Achievement Channel, and you're watching Teachers World.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Adiola, thank you for reminding us that being a teacher is more than just lessons. It's about changing lives. Your work with Peace Podcasting and your love for your students is truly inspiring. So to everyone listening, remember that every child counts. Thank you for joining us today on Teachers World. I'm David Obianyo, and we'll see you next time.
Good day and welcome to Achievement News right on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first 100% motivational television. My name is Comfort Idongise Basi, your guide through the stories of triumph, innovation, and positive impact shaping our world. Broadcasting live from our School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, Lagos, we bring you news that truly inspires. At Achievement News, we believe in celebrating human ingenuity, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of progress. We sift through the headlines to bring you the breakthroughs, the milestones, and the uplifting narratives that prove possibilities abound and true achievement is within reach for everyone. Our planet's precious oceans are getting more protection, marking a massive win for global conservation. In recent weeks, 10 new marine reserves have been announced worldwide, including a significant 3,800 square kilometer area in Colombia and increased protected sea zones in Portugal. Most notably, the African nation of Sao Tome and Principe has established 8 new marine protected areas, and it is a truly inspiring step in environmental action. And here in Nigeria, a positive conservation story as a rare chimpanzee population was recently captured on video for the first time in our very own Ise Forest Conservation Area, a testament to local efforts. The health of our planet is in our hands. Every small act of conservation, from responsible waste disposal to supporting eco-friendly initiatives, contributes to a healthier, more vibrant world for all. We see possibilities. Right here in Nigeria, innovation is rising to meet the challenge of environmental sustainability. The Felicia and Lawrence Omiunu Environmental Sustainability Grant has launched, offering vital financial support and expert backing to individuals and organizations developing groundbreaking solutions for plastic pollution. This $1,000 grant aims to foster local creativity and empower homegrown innovations that can effectively tackle the pervasive issue of plastic waste, contributing to a cleaner, healthier environment across our communities. Every local problem holds the seed of a local solution. Be the innovator in your community, turning challenges into opportunities for cleaner, more sustainable living. We see possibilities.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
In a significant stride for human dignity, England and Wales are moving to decriminalize rough sleeping. This progressive move repeals an antiquated 1824 law that criminalized homelessness, marking a profound shift in approach. Instead of punishment, the focus will now be on providing support and addressing the root causes of homelessness as a social issue. This legislative change reflects a more empathetic and effective approach to supporting vulnerable populations and upholding human rights. Humanity thrives when we extend compassion and support to our most vulnerable. Let us be inspired to foster empathy in our own communities, ensuring no one is left behind. We see possibilities. UN Women's 2024-2025 report shines a spotlight on incredible strides for women globally, with significant impact felt here in Nigeria. The report highlights women in Jordan winning over 40% more parliamentary seats and new women leaders in Kenya passing impactful legislation. Critically for us, the report celebrates Nigeria's own progress in granting women preferential access to public contracts, a policy expected to open up opportunities for over 1 million women-led businesses. These are tangible steps towards greater political representation, legal protection, and economic independence for women worldwide. When women lead, economy grows and societies flourish. Be inspired by these achievements and strive for your own leadership role. Knowing your impact creates a ripple effect for all. We see possibilities.
Hello everyone, my name is Chinedu Ndugwe. If you know you are looking out for innovation, motivation in Nigeria or Africa, please watch out for Achievement Channel.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel Zeole. Keep watching Achievement Channel for daily motivation and you're good to go.
Tune in next time for more achievements news, your daily source of positivity. Visit us at www.achievementchannel.com and join the movement #WeSeePossibilities. That's all the achievement news for today. Remember, every day brings new opportunities for growth, progress, and impact. Keep achieving, keep inspiring, and most importantly, keep believing in the power of possibilities. My name is Comfort Idongise Basi, wishing you a truly impactful day.
Imagine a world transformed by the power of giving, where every act of kindness sparks another. These are the champions who dedicate their lives to change. Together, they are paying it forward. Champions of change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement. Here on the Achievement Channel.
Welcome to Champions of Change on the Achievement Channel. I'm Pamela Egbo, reporting live from the School of Eloquence, Lagos, where we shine a light on remarkable individuals, transforming lives and building a better future for us all. Today, we're honored to have Iye Jonathan Ichavie, a distinguished social entrepreneur and co-founder of the CISO Empowerment Foundation. With over a decade of dedication to supporting internally displaced persons and refugees, Iye has impacted more than 100,000 lives through relief efforts, rehabilitation programs, and advocacy. Get ready to be inspired by her incredible journey and unwavering commitment to change. Let's get started.
Champions of Change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement.
Iye, welcome to Champions of Change. It's great to have you on the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. So you've had an amazing impact with your work with CISO Foundation. You've impacted over 100,000 lives so far. Working with people who have internal displacement. What I want to know is what made you start CISO Foundation, and particularly what made you focus on this area of advocacy?
So it was a personal experience. My grandmother, who was at that time about 95 or 96, was displaced by a conflict in my village back in Benue, back home. And it was just the neighboring village. They were fighting over land or something. And in the middle of the night, they came in and burnt our family home.
Wow.
And my grandmother had to run. Now, you know, that generation, she could walk, she could run. And she basically had to run for her life. In the middle of the night, you know, at that time, I was actually about to move from Nigeria to another country for an assignment. A work assignment. Then I was working with UNICEF Nigeria. And my dad just told me one day, oh, they've attacked our village, the village, they've burnt our family house. And, you know, Mama is staying in one of these places near the marketplace. It didn't really register. Until I got home, I got into Switzerland where I was going to at the time. And I started talking to him to say, okay, I need more information. What's really happening at home? And it dawned on me that my grandmother was actually living in some hut in the village. Went from living in this big house, which had now been burnt to ashes, basically to this place. And, you know, at that age, she didn't want to come to town, you know, Makudi, which is about 2 hours away by road. Some of the roads are not good. You know, at that age, you just want to be in your space, right? So she wasn't ready to move to any of her children's houses. So I took some time off, came home. I said, okay, let me see what's going on. You know, he said, oh, the house is burned, all the relatives, everybody's displaced. They're all hanging in different places. And it was my birthday that year, 2009, September. And I just did some fundraising, asked friends to support and donate. Let me go home and see what's going on. I'd also written a poetry book, a book of Christian poetry called True to You. And I said, oh, okay, I'll launch it in January, you know, my next holiday in Nigeria. Let me even go home first and see what's going on. And I went to the village. Oh, my goodness. That was when I realized they had this conflict. So my village people now retaliated, and they actually basically were just fighting each other, or you know, until they stopped fighting when they burnt their food supplies and everybody was too hungry to continue fighting.
Wow.
So there were displaced people on my side and there were displaced people on the other side of the village. So there they were just milling around, you know, and all of that. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, this is serious. You know, and I'd raised this money and I decided, okay, they needed food. We needed to figure out how to begin to look at how can we make peace, how can we advocate and begin to call on the government to do their part, because there was no compensation offered to anybody for anything. And that's how we got into this. You know, we decided to register because we realized this extended beyond my family.
Of course.
And so we decided to register Seesaw Foundation. It was very interesting. When I went in, I was also doing my master's at the time, my master's in political management. One of the things I was very interested in was, what is it that motivates people to carry out this kind of violence?
Right.
Because when we started talking, you know, it turned out that sometimes some unscrupulous politicians and political actors would instigate these conflicts and target certain people's homes in these places. Maybe they're a political rival. And the whole point is to cripple you, right? And so we said, what is it that motivates young people? These were young people in the village to go out there and destroy property, and you fight so much that you get too hungry to stop. You can't even fight anymore. You now stop. And you've destroyed your whole community, and all of you are just looking at yourselves.
Exactly.
And so I did some research on that. So my thesis was on youth involvement in political violence. And just talking to each youth, I interviewed young people in the community. One refrain, if you people will just come and help us. We don't have jobs. We don't have this. We don't have that. And we're like, so because you don't have jobs, you allow somebody from outside to come and give you money to go and burn your neighbors, whatever. It will destroy the place even further, and you will not get the jobs.
Exactly.
But what struck me was just that sense of lack of ownership, learned helplessness, and just feeling like, oh, we can't change, or you know, we're just here. The help should come from external, and that's what informed the name Seesaw. Seesaw in Tiv means we will repair, and so it's on you. It's for you to take ownership. Of course, I was in the UN for 8 years, so we saw that refrain throughout many communities. You go and people will be like, oh, the UN should come and help us. But it's your community. And so it came from that philosophy and that thought that if we're going to fix things, it's going to be on us as communities, as Nigerians. Nobody's coming to save you.
That's right.
You know, you need to sort yourself out. And so that's where the name came from, and that's how we started.
Amazing, amazing. I love that, what it means in Tiv. I love that. So tell me, in terms of, I know some of your services has been emergency relief as well as long-term rehabilitation.
Yeah.
One of the key things to making a foundation like yours successful is sustainability.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so how has that been in terms of making it sustainable? And also, what have been some of the challenges that you have found in trying to make it sustainable?
So that's an ongoing battle, right, in this space. But I think when we started, like I said, I launched this book, and it was actually the proceeds from that book launching, that we used to kick off our first programs, to even register the foundation. And one of the things we had, coming from my background, I was in private sector fundraising with UNICEF, and before I'd always done fundraising from private sector. I really believed, again, back to that philosophy, we will fix ourselves. So we looked more towards how can Nigerians support this work. And so we had a lot of individual support from friends, family, friends of friends, and friends of family members. We tried to really keep our operations really slim.
Right.
And a lot of volunteering. For me, even when I now eventually left the UN and came back to Nigeria, I totally funded myself. I mean, newsflash for people, NGOs don't have pots of money, generally, most of us who are really doing, you are really on the grassroots. So, some people, even till now, even the Nigerian authorities, some of them feel we're getting dollars from abroad and grants. Not all of us operate that way. Even if you do get those kinds of grants, you do have to, it has to tally with your mission.
Yes.
So, for example, when we started, I was doing a lot of work. I did my initial rounds. In fact, we were one of the first NGOs from southern Nigeria or from the Middle Belt to go to the north.
Right.
When Boko Haram was attacking and there were people who were displaced, you would tell Nigerians, do you know we have displaced people? They say it's not possible. How can Nigeria have displaced people? How can we have refugees within refugees? We're just lying. So we had to go to say, okay, we know about these attacks. I mean, we started in Benue. Then there was a flood. People were whatever. But, there was just none of that. That media wasn't there. Now everybody says IDP, IDP. At that time, 2010, if you told people, I'm looking at 2010, 2011, even 2014, if you told people there were displaced people in Nigeria, they would argue with you. And they would say we are trying to. So I remember there was one situation, there was a conflict in my state. Terrorist headsmen were attacking the farming communities, some of them. And we raised the issue. And people were like, you're just trying to make the government look bad. You are being sponsored by the opposition. I'm like, what's wrong with you people? Displacement is a reality. It's something that happens. So we made a conscious effort. Because of those things, we decided that we wanted to focus very much on trying to be as independent as possible. So we would not be open to accusations of being politically biased and so on and so forth. We could get our funding from individuals. We focused very much on CSR, reaching out to companies and corporate organizations to support us. So that was the sustainability journey, keeping our costs really low. For example, for a long time, I was just paid a stipend of 50,000 naira every month, right? So I was surviving through other means, doing consulting work and so on and so forth. I remember I had a friend that said, you should be richer than this. I'm like, please, that's not the point. Let's do the work, right? And let's serve people and let's be happy. But I think in terms of that sustainability challenge, it is an ongoing challenge. You really have to think about how you're going to sustain. And looking back now, there are things I've learned that I would definitely advise people to do differently for the sustainability journey.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
But we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's
that's been that's been our story so far.
Fantastic. Let's take a quick break and we'll return and continue this amazing conversation.
Champions of Change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional in Lagos and Abuja.
Call 0802 3032 066. Log on to schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence.
Teaching the world to speak.
Champions of Change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement.
Welcome back to Champions of Change. And just before the break, we were talking to EA about internally displaced people and her work with the CISO Foundation. So EA, you were just about to tell us about sustainability and what helps with that. So if you could just mention a couple of things that has helped.
I think one of the first things is to actually have stream of income. And that's what I'm talking about, social enterprise now. You have to find something that you're doing that adds value to society and that earns income, that from that surplus you can now use that to take care of your social goals, of your charitable endeavors. That's something that I wish we had thought about way back when. Because when you think about it, the history of charity is funded from those kinds of entities. It's the excess or the deliberate setting aside. So we have MTN Foundation, that's what they do. Ford Foundation came from that rich tradition.
Right.
You know, there were Rockefeller Foundation and all of that. And that's something I think that's our sector in Nigeria. We need to really grow into that. Because you cannot depend on donations. You know, it's not sustainable, no matter how you push it. I've pushed it for 14 years, and we're now pivoting into looking into other areas we want to move into.
And in fact, there's givers fatigue. Givers fatigue.
There's donor fatigue. You know, we are burning out. I'm almost burnt out, you know, because you're constantly looking for money and trying to whatever, you know. So it's just to reinvent ourselves and see how we can, you know, add value to society in a different way, while giving back as well to those who are displaced.
Amazing, amazing. You have something really exciting coming up, your research fellowship with the Toronto Metropolitan University. Tell us a little bit about that and how it feeds into your work that you're doing with the CISO Foundation.
So it's with the Center for Research Excellence in Migration. And I'm going to be doing a fellowship just studying housing for refugees, migrants, and displaced persons. It's right what I needed at just the right time. Because in all the work we've been doing over the last 14, 15 years, what displaced people need is housing. They need sustainable housing solutions. Because think about it, if you don't have a house, where are you going to start from? And what we've seen with the women we work with, work with a lot of women and their families, is they're severely displaced. So they fled to one place, then maybe the place gets attacked again. They're put in a camp. The camp gets attacked again. We've heard about that. Or they're in a settlement community. A flood comes. This one is Lagos. We see that, right? There are no camps for them in Lagos, right? But a lot of them are in settlement areas. They're in shanties. When it's heavy season, rainy season, just know they'll be flooded, right? Some of them have to move their children out. They now get to another place, or the place gets demolished by government or the owners of the land. You know, so they have to move. In Benue, for example, there were times we even had they move into a primary school. So the poor primary school children are displaced from learning.
Wow.
So they're staying in the primary school, or sometimes they're sharing. So children come to school in the morning. Then when a governor or government official says, "Oh, this can't happen," there's no option for them. They say, "Okay, you have to move out." Move out to where? So we started thinking the best solution you can give displaced people is just give them a place. In our rehabilitation work, in the empowerment and livelihood support work we do, these are people who are hardworking, who had businesses, had solid jobs before this stuff happened. Anyone can get displaced. But because they don't have housing, it now destabilizes them, reduces them, they become poorer and poorer. And we realize the biggest thing you can do for someone who's displaced is to give them housing.
Absolutely.
So it's something we've been talking to a few partners, but we want to look at how the financing options for that, the long term, because it's not cheap. And so for me, it's such a great opportunity to network, to find out what are other countries doing, what's happening in Canada, for example. I'm very excited about the people I'm going to be learning from, and also sharing with them our own experiences of working with displaced persons.
Fantastic opportunity. We look forward to hearing more about that. What would you say to entrepreneurs who want to start their own social impact initiatives and have the right attitude and mindset? Because you talked about servitude being the bedrock of actually being a social entrepreneur. It's not just about coming to make money, because then you're in the wrong line. So what would you say has helped you as a foundation to focus on that?
I think it's just the desire to serve. You really have to decide, how am I going to give value? What's more important? I remember I had a situation where one of the things we sometimes see with service sectors, and we see it in governance, we see it in different places. One of our first outreaches for livelihood support program We had some people who were doing some work with us at the time, and they came to support this program. It was a training program for the women. And because the women are displaced, they live in shanties, I came to the place and I noticed that they were buying refreshments, and they had bought for themselves, the workers who are not displaced, had bought for themselves malt.
And
I mean, a very simple thing, no. And then for the people, they bought pure water.
Right.
I was like, how is that? You don't need the malt. They need the malt, you know. And so for me, it's about those people that you're trying to serve. The question is always, how can we add more value to their lives? Even in choosing what you're going to do to generate the income, how can you link it to what you're doing in a way that adds value? So one of the things I'm working on with some of my partners is how can we, for example, develop housing products that we can sell to middle and lower income people who are not displaced, where we can now take a percentage of those profits and use it to fund the housing needs of those who are displaced. So you maybe try and find a linkage, but find something that offers real tangible value.
That's
So that's what I'd say on that.
Amazing.
But with a view to serving, and how can we just make life better for those we serve, whether we're on the income generation side or for those who are just trying to impact in a socially impact. So that's it.
Amazing. And last but not the least is you wear many hats. Ever since I've known you, you're an activist, you're a humanitarian, you're an entrepreneur, you're an advocate. How do you
And a politician. I ran for office last year.
Oh yes, of course. I forgot about that one.
2023.
How do you basically balance it all and still maintain, your core focus in mind, which is really helping people bottom line?
I mean, I think the key thing is there's just that common thread. Of course, faith for me plays a really strong role. And one of my favorite sayings of Jesus is more blessed to give than to receive. And I always say, in giving there's joy, And so in all those places, it's about giving. It's about speaking up for those who cannot speak up for themselves. It's about being that voice, being that advocate. And I mean, I remember one time, one of our first outreaches, we went up to Gombe because there were some displaced people who had fled from Boko Haram.